Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try to run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome all of you to today's edition of the Afridamus Report. Guys, this show, I'm telling you, I want to hear feedbacks, but this is going to be a very interesting show because you see the man at the center of all this, Julius Malema. But before I get to that, guys, please make sure you like the video, hit the like. And, I want to say hello to all of you. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday because I know I am. Woke up early, went to the gym as usual. I had a great workout. But there was this dude at the gym for some reason, like this guy just kept coming. As I'm taking rest in between my sets, he's like, oh, can you give me, can you spot me? So I spotted him like twice. And I'm like, okay, this guy now, like I gave him the look like, dude, I'm not here to spot you. I'm here to do my workout. I already gave you 2 spots. Okay? Put the weights on that you are comfortable with. But besides that, like I gave him the look, he understood and he got 2 out of me. That's fine. But other than that, guys, there's something going on in the world. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to, they've been saying that the dollar is going to collapse because they said this BRIC nation, China, Russia, Brazil, India, and all these countries, they are, they've come together, they formed this alliance. So they are going to work on dropping the dollar. So a lot of people have been distracted with other stuff. I know someone is going to ask, Afridamus, why are you talking about that? Because this is a very, very serious situation. Because you see, Blacks all over the world, especially Black Africans, in this economic spectrum, we are the one at the bottom of the ladder. We are the ones that are going to be getting exploited. So this new economic front that is coming, we don't even know, like how it's going to play out. So while we are supposed to be worried about that, Julius Malema, yes, your beloved Julius Malema, he is a lot more preoccupied with criticizing the president of Uganda. And he knows well that the president of Uganda, you guys know the gay law that they said they passed in Uganda. Museveni is not running the country as if, he owns it. We all saw their parliament, because you see, countries have lawmakers. It's not a one-man rule. We all know this. But you see, when it comes to African nations, they still want to sell us the story of, I understand we used to have like dictators, right? Where one man, he's got the iron grip on the power, he say, whatever he says goes. But more and more African countries, are sticking with what the parliament says. And those parliaments, they represent people from provinces who voted for them. So this is not only Museveni's idea, this is the will of the Ugandan people. But since we know Julius Malema, what does he champion himself as? A Pan-Africanist, right? What do we know Pan-Africanists to do? They said they stand for Black rights, especially against Western intruders, outside intruders. But now, let me play this video to you, so that you can see for yourself, the economic situations that are happening, how Africa is been, they're putting Africans to sleep, trying to force this agenda on Africans. So Malema is supporting the rainbow, as you can see here. I would reserve that. I want to tackle the economic front. Let me play a video for you here so that we are all on the same page, so we can understand what is coming our way. Let's see. Let me do my disclaimer, and then we will get into this. Fair use. All right. So let me play this first video, and I want to give a shout out to the viewers that send me these videos and I delve in and do more digging into it. So I'm going to play this video. It's about what is happening with this BRIC thing, and also why Kamala Harris was sent to Africa. You guys remember last time it was Obama. Now they are presenting her as one of us, one of our Africans, but it's all delusion. Let me play this video from what this man says in this video so that you guys hear it yourself.
Believe what happened today.
No, actually, that's the wrong video. This is the right one.
Their vice president to Africa in an attempt to salvage Western relations with the continent, as America hopes to maintain Western influence over the various African nations while slowing down the influence of BRICS. Let's talk about what's happening, why Africa finds the entire world wanting to be their friends.
Guys, did you hear that? So right now, isn't it weird how you're seeing the whole world wants to be friends with Africa? So I want you guys to see the advantage here, where you don't just take sides or allow people to trample on you. Malema, once you guys hear all this, the agenda, you would understand that Malema have taken a side, and that side is definitely anti-African. Because the things that, some of the stuff that Malema said here, I don't know how these Pan-Africans especially can salvage themselves from this ever again. Is it even possible? Because we've already known them to be fake and phony. But now more and more, it's not only the Western ones, the Tariq Nasheeds and the others. No, Julius Malema is showing himself more and more as one of those people. So we're doing the economic front, and why the US sent their vice president to Africa.
And what this means for business in Africa. This trip from the vice president will include Ghana, Tanzania, and Zambia, and follows French President Macron's friendship tour of Africa a few weeks prior. This is clearly a preemptive measure, with the West trying to get ahead of President Putin, who plans to visit Africa to make a major push to align Africa with BRICS later this year.
So Putin already visited, right? But prior to the visit, they were threatening that Putin would get arrested. They want South Africa to arrest him. The same Malema made a video, championing, talking so tough, like he's sending message to America and the West to let them know that Putin will not be arrested in South Africa, just presenting himself as, this, super Pan-African. And people were like, yeah, Malema, man, Malema is standing up. This is what we're talking about. But a week later, you will see what Malema did also. Here we go.
After the Ukraine war created a clear division between the West and Russia, the West realized that Africa aligning itself with BRICS nations would give Russia a major strategic advantage over the West. Thus, the US and France are extremely worried about losing influence with Africa, as China and Russia have made significant inroads in various African nations. If you spent time in Africa, you have likely seen the massive infrastructure projects. The US is hoping to use a charm offensive to convince the African countries to expand their relations with the Western world and reject future infrastructure and business deals from Russia and China.
So, guys, you see, even with what this man is saying, so the US is playing a counter offense against Russia and China's influence in Africa. So Chinese are building massive projects. So in this counter offense, ladies and gentlemen, Africans, listen to me carefully. They're going to use all types of tactics. Even this Back to Africa movement. Have you noticed in this movement a lot of, I'm not saying, I know what I'm about to say, it might just be a coincidence, but is it just me, or you guys have also noticed a lot of this Back to Africa, they are ex-military of the United States, or they might even be active, but being undercover to be planted within Africa. Because imperial nations like the United States, they have the capability, they have the money. We've all read in books where Europeans have come to Africa when Africa was even way more primitive. They would live amongst the Africans there, just to study the logistics, just to gain the trust so that they can get what they want. So it's not too far-fetched. Like, just because you think, oh man, you're like, it's modern times. Humans are the same. Time is the same, okay? It's the same sun from that time. It's just every time when one tactic is found out, they switch onto something else. So to me, even this black skin color thing they've been promoting this last few years, you guys know I have been very suspicious of it, because I know, in America especially, the blacks here, majority do not like Africans. They hate Africans. They have no interest in Africa. I'm not saying all, but most. But now what? All of a sudden, America and the rest of the world, America is trying to stop Africa from choosing whoever they want to be friends with. And they would go at any length to stop that. I'm just telling you guys something to think about. Food for thought. Don't just, keep following people, like dragging you around like you are a sheep. They come, they start telling you stories and and you just go along with it. You must investigate. You must find out who are these people, where are they coming from, what is their motive, because you have to look at the bigger agenda. If the agenda that their country is pushing now, you have to find a way if they are tied to promoting that agenda. But you can't just be, oh, brother. But your brother next door, most of you have family members you don't even talk to. You don't like them. Those same people, they have they have relatives they hate, but they're gonna go scouting, looking for complete strangers to be their brother. I don't buy it. I don't know about you, but I don't buy it. But here we go.
Each side is coming to the African nations with proposals. At this point, we can only speculate, as many of the negotiations are ongoing and all sides are tight-lipped. Nevertheless, let's talk about what offers are likely going to be on the table from the West and from BRICS, and which side is more favorable to business in Africa. The BRICS nations, specifically Russia and China, are likely offering the various African leaders more energy infrastructure, transportation infrastructure, free grain, and help in developing African manufacturing, among other things. In exchange, the BRICS nations are likely looking to continue to establish a business foothold in Africa, receive a
So the guy is giving us both sides. So the BRICS nations, Russia and China, so pretty much what he's saying here, if this is what is on the table, if Africa can utilize it, this would be more advantageous, compared to what they are getting, the deal African nations are getting from the West. Because the West like to say, we are giving Africans aid. So these people, there's no such thing as aid. We know it's straight up business. You give X, we give Y. You know what I'm saying? Straight cut. But now let's hear the rest of this, because America and the West, they are not offering infrastructures for Africa. I hope you know this. That is not what they are offering. They want to get the resources, either for free or cheap, way cheap. And then they turn around, come back and sell it to Africans at 10 times the price. Yes, I'm not saying if Africans don't wake up and be vigilant, these other people won't do it either. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. But let's go.
Revenue stream from the various infrastructure projects through tolls and surcharges, allow BRICS access to the raw resources of the African continent, and of course, the ultimate goal of BRICS may be to cut off Western influence from Africa. The West will likely be a little less transparent. The West will offer foreign aid with strings attached, developmental loans from the world.
So, did you hear this? The West, hear their offer to Africa. Just listen to this.
World Bank, more American visa lotteries for the...
Look at that. So, think about it. This is why America sells America as paradise to the world. So they're telling Africans, oh, we'll give free visa lottery. So you guys, if you go back, way back, I have videos that I've made where the blacks, they come, they're like, oh, we're the reason you Africans are here. I said, no. I said, in this grand scheme of thing, I'm not trying to be rude or whatever. I said, but as far as government to government go, we are more important than you guys. We hold more leverage. Even as small as my countries, we have our own country and we have a vote in the United Nations. You, on the other hand, you're part of a country you don't even like. So we cannot deal with you directly because you don't have a voice. The white man got to speak for you. So this is what the white man is offering us. They are offering us visa lotos. Guys, do you see this? So the white people in the Western people, America, they are using visa lotto as part of one of the leverage. That's why if I ever hear any of you come back here on my channel telling me about how we are here taking from you ever again, Now that you've heard the deal, we made a deal with your government. Your government came and offered this to people so that you can get resources. Now you understanding this, right? It's not just like you say, oh, some African booty scratches. We just walked our way through the door, without anything. Nah, we got bread on the table. So you have, like some of them, they're like, oh man, we the ones that it's because of us you guys came here. No, not true. Not true. It's because of us, what's in our ground, that's what brought us here. Yes, one might say it's not a better deal, but that's the fact. You heard it from the white man.
African citizens and implied military protection for the leaders who play nice with Europe and America. In exchange, the U.S. will expect Africa to conform more with Western social norms, allow Western companies access to the African economies, and of course, limit future African involvement with the BRICS nations.
So America is pretty much a bully. They're gangsters. They're criminals. They're saying, hey, check this out. They think this is a good deal for us. We'll give you some of your people visa lottery, and it's not like when they get there, we would give them money and put them up in houses. No, they got to work their black asses. So pretty much it's like they're killing two birds with one stone. So they're coming, they're getting human resource, making it seem like they're doing you a favor, send you to their country to go work. And they say, yeah, we're doing you a favor compared to what they are getting. So, and then they would be like, all right, if you do what we say to African presidents, we give you military support, or if you don't do it, we pull it out. Guys, don't you, isn't that a threat? So they are threatening you. So now China and Russia are the big boys that came in town. They came in town. America cannot threaten them. Hey, look, if you got an AR-15 and I got like a little bitty 25 or just a knife, and we are neighbors, or not even neighbors, you're constantly threatening me. The only way I'm allowing you to get away with that threat is because of what you have. But you see, the day there's an equalizer. There's an equalizer. You see, I got mine too. Man, you would be like, no, that's not that nice Negro. Nah, it's the same person. But now I got leverage too. So now what's up? So that's what's happening. Even though Africa is not having those weapons and stuff, but now they can tie themselves to an interest. China and Russia, they're not going to let their interest, something to happen to it, but they want to force the gay lifestyle on, for example, Uganda, right? Malema is supporting the West. Let's just be real.
This is fundamentally a continuation of the previous relationship the West had with Africa, though perhaps with a nicer tone. On the surface, the BRICS nations appear to be offering a much better deal for the African economies. The infrastructure and nuclear energy deals appear to be game changers without the typical political and social baggage the West pushes. From a business standpoint, it seems BRICS is the winning choice if you are an investor in Africa. But the devil is in the details, and we do not know whether the BRICS nations will maintain a neutral business relationship with Africa indefinitely, or whether they will attempt Western-style political intrigue if BRICS influence becomes more entrenched.
Well, this is where Africa should start planning on protecting what they got, because now they've already had experience with the West. Yes, just because the person came in nice doesn't mean things are not going to change. So while these people are hot at each other and you're looking good, everyone wants to be your friend, get those things, that would allow you to protect yourself for the future, because these people's wars are they're gonna somehow, it's gonna subside. So you don't want to remain in the same position they found you in, while they are trying to buy your affection. That's when you position yourself well. But while Africa, like Pan-Africans like Julius Malema, this is what they should be pushing for. But oh no, he wants to promote the gay agenda. Guys, please hit the like. I see people in here, you're enjoying the show. Hit the like so we can bring in more people.
Either way, it certainly must be an interesting time to be an African. After centuries of being treated like second-class countries, they now find major powers of the world attempting to win their favor, putting the Africans in a much stronger negotiating position than they enjoyed in the past. I believe this competition for African friendship could lead to better trade deals and more respect for African autonomy. But what do you guys think?
Exactly. Did you guys hear that? Great video, right? So this is what is currently happening while they are distracting us on the quote-unquote mainstream news media, telling us, oh, they're taking Trump to jail because he had something to do with a porn star, when we all clearly read that woman years ago said she's never had anything to do with Trump. So I don't know what else they want, but we don't care about what they're trying to feed us. This right here, this is going to change the economy of the world. If you don't believe me, let's hear what Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is supposed to be America's #1 friend, right? Let's see where they stand.
Arabia just cut ties with the US dollar. This is the first time in 100 years that the dollar has had a real challenge. Just so we're clear, Saudi Arabia is one of the richest countries in the world with oil. And the dollar has been backed by oil. It's been called the
So that's why the US dollar, because you cannot buy oil without the US dollar. That's why it's the most powerful currency in the world. But now Saudi Arabia, that has a lot of oil, has joined this other group, the BRICS nation. So that right there can affect the American dollar internationally. It is coming. So here we go.
petrodollar. See, the dollar used to be backed by gold. For every dollar, there was a piece of gold backing every dollar. But in 1972, 3, around there, President Nixon took us off the gold standard. So ever since then, it's been backed by nothing but oil. Really nothing, though. That's why we're able to print as much as we want. That's why we have such inflation going on in the United States and around the world. So to stay in power, we forced countries to buy oil with the dollar.
So you guys remember they killed Saddam Hussein? That's why. Because Saddam Hussein was one of the few people back in the day saying he was no longer going to accept dollar. Like he wants to sell in euro. He wasn't going to take dollars. So that's why they claim, oh yeah, weapons of mass destruction. Clearly, there was no weapons. They went in and they killed them. Muammar Gaddafi, he came with those gold dinars. He wanted to back the money by gold. They came and took him out. Right? But China, Russia, they have nukes too. They have nukes. What are they going to do to them? You know what I'm saying? I mean, the world have changed. I'm telling you right now, like, it's not like during Second World War when all the war was in Europe and Asia and North Africa. It's no longer like that. Now they have, intercontinental ballistic missiles where they could hit US cities. They could bring the war to US. That's how serious this is. So how are they going to stop these people. They cannot stop them. So this whole time, the US, yes, they were intimidating countries to just go along with their program. But it looks like China is pulling a fast one here.
Only the dollar, and if they didn't, we would go in, we'd invade their country, and we would blow them up. Well, you can't just go invade Russia and invade China. They're superpowers with nuclear weapons. There's nothing you can do, and those are two countries that said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to use the dollar. Now, they did to an extent, right? We slapped sanctions on them and stuff like that. So they did to an extent. We had partnerships with Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia said, no, we're only going to accept dollars. But that is no longer happening. Now, what does that mean for you and I? Well, that's where the BRICS nations comes in. You got Brazil, China, Russia, India. Now you got Saudi Arabia, and many other countries are joining the BRICS nations because they're sick and tired of the dollar. They're sick and tired of the United States and the warmongers. If the U.S. doesn't get their way, and I'm from America, I love the country, I love the concept, I love democracy, I love the republic, I love some of the people, not all of them, depends on which side you're leaning. But my point is, the country as a whole and the idea of America is beautiful, but the politicians have fucked everything up.
The man is 100% correct. America is a beautiful place, beautiful country, a lot of nice people. But the people, the politicians, it looks like, they just want to fight wars. They right now they are, they might go to war with China, because you see the Taiwanese president came, she was traveling to South America. Apparently they said she came through the US, but China gave a warning that they shouldn't meet her. But the House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy went and met her. And some of you might ask, why should China, how can China tell the US not to meet the president of Taiwan? I'm glad you asked, because you see, China believes in the one China policy, meaning Taiwan is China. So some countries are divided on this. Taiwan, the only way Taiwan is standing now is because they are able to bribe other countries to vote for them in the UN. China also goes on campaigns for countries not to vote for Taiwan. And if you don't acknowledge Taiwan, China does good business with you and stuff like that. So the United States at one point recognized one China, but now they want to create a war. So they are recognizing Taiwan as its own entity. And we don't know what is happening, but they've seen Chinese military. They've been doing quote unquote exercises, maneuvers, around that South China Sea there. So something is brewing. We just can't put our fingers on it. And Finland also. Finland joined, the European Union, despite, agreeing, since Second World War, they've enjoyed good relationship with Russia, and stuff like that. They've joined the EU. So I don't know if that's provocation so that the Russians can attack Finland, but this is what is happening. So brace yourself.
They're fucking useless. So here we are today. And if this happens and 100+ countries break away from the dollar and 50% of the world's GDP stops using the dollar and starts using the yuan or a digital yuan or whatever it is, that is really bad for you and I. That means the United States will have to print more money faster and faster and faster, which eventually will turn into something called hyperinflation, where you're going to literally be waiting in line to get fucking bread. And you don't think that can happen in America? Okay, wait around and fucking see what happens. Instead of just waiting around though, saying, oh, that's never gonna happen, or okay, I'll do something if it happens, start buying different assets. And no, I don't mean buying homes. First of all, the average person just can't go buy a bunch of fucking houses. That's just, you know, right? This is where I tell you guys, crypto, gold, silver.
All right. So you guys hear that, right? The world, things are happening. All what is going on here. So here, let's see. Pan-Africanism to say. So you're trying all this to say what? That Pan-Africanism is no good and don't link with African Americans. Is that your angle? No, that's not my angle. Pan-Africanism to just kick back and watch this, okay? And I would want to hear your opinion on this because I believe you are saying you're Pan-Africanist. So I'm just doing the world news before, and then we will get into what is really happening. But ladies and gentlemen, before we start on the Julius Malema here, I'm gonna do our segment here. I call this segment our anything but African person of the week. This is when we play videos of pretendians, but here we go.
Please watch this video. Watch this video you're about to see. Just be patient.
The majority of African Americans that lived here were brought over here.
No,
No.
that's not economically sound.
What do you mean by it's not economically sound?
So what I'm saying is, people were already here. Does it make sense to go all the way to this other continent to bring people on a boat when we know that half of your stock is gonna die? You wouldn't do that.
So how many people do you think were brought over from Africa on slave ships? Because that definitely happened.
I don't believe it.
What do you mean you don't believe it?
I don't believe that story. You think this whole land was empty? No, there were natives here.
Right.
But today we're taught that natives is some other people. No, natives are the melanated African being that has come here since the beginning of the Mali Empire. We're talking about 14th, 13th century. We had already come here from Africa.
Really?
Oh, yeah, we had already come here. Maybe people were brought over as slaves, but I don't think that the black people in America came from Africa on slave ships. I believe the people that were here were slowly conquered. First, they got the East Coast, and then they started spreading out west, little by little conquering. And when you conquer a tribe, what do? You enslave them. They're POWs. Right?
Okay.
That's what you do.
But I'm still confused. There's a great history of slave ships being brought over from Africa.
History is his story.
Right.
What about my story? Is my story not valid?
But if you do 23andMe on from out
23andMe?
Well, that's
either way, if you take black people here in America and you do their DNA sample and it point back to Africa, what does that say? It says black people in America are Africans. Now, the argument is, were we brought here or were we already here? Did we bring ourselves here or did the white man bring us here? You see, when you say the white man brought us here, what you're doing is you're removing our ability to transport ourselves. You're saying, oh, we didn't know anything about boats. That's what you're trying to tell me. You're trying to tell me that we didn't know that there was a landmass here. Go look at the primary source. You got here, we met black people. When we got to the Caribbean, we met black people. You think the Caribbean is right next to America and they weren't in America?
That's interesting.
Doesn't make any sense. I mean, when you go and you look at real European history, right, would believe that if they took a bath, it was bad.
Right.
They didn't even want to change their clothes. They thought that dirty was purity. When we talk about the Moors going into Spain and into Europe, the stories in the history, our history, says that when we met the so-called Caucasian, he was sleeping in the barn with the animals, and we told him, no, you can't sleep in the barn with animals. We taught them etiquette. We taught them running water. We brought that technology to Europe. Now, if we brought the technology to Europe that saved Europe from the Black Plague, you mean to tell me that if we saved the white race, that we weren't already in America already? When we brought the technology? When Rome was dependent on Africa for food? Remember when the Black Plague hit Rome? The cause was one of the officials was stealing the grain that was coming from Africa. So there was famine hit Rome. If your source of sustenance is from Africa, how are you superior? You're not. You get.
All right. That's our anything but fully African person of the week. Nobody can top this one. No, it's so we gotta give it to him. Even though let's see what our professor, Dr. Umar says to this. Let's see.
Let's talk about
doing
this.
your DNA testing,
Pretendians.
Right? And I'm still waiting for the pretendians to get their DNA. All my I ain't from Africa people, you have not taken the DNA test. I want to know why.
Yeah, the man said like he's on that blackity black stuff. He's all over the place. 1 minute they were here, but that's our anything but African person of the week. So guys, now let's go to, Julius Malema. The Cure said he was right though. The Cure, are you kidding me? So you really believe what this man said? So when he said Mansa Abubakar from Mali Empire crossed with people, they don't know if they ever even made it over. Even if those were the people that they crossed, let's say they crossed. Those were only like 1,000 people, from what they said. So, he's trying to guilt the white man, saying, are you trying to say we don't have boats? We don't have boats? But anyways, shout out to our anything but African person of the week. So now let's go into Julius Malema. I have a video here. I have a couple of videos on Julius Malema here. So Julius Malema, as you guys know, he is the king of Pan-Africanism in South Africa. And I've seen some people even where some of the South African callers have been in some of the panels, and whenever they try to say, oh no, Julius Malema is not real, he's fake, a lot of our American hoteps and wannabe Pan-Africans, they're like, man, these people, come on, man, what you talking about, man, you selling out. And, the African Pan-Africanists, they get upset too. But, well, here we go. Let's find out what Julius is doing these days.
Found solace in the name Julius Malema, particularly Zimbabweans, Zambians, Ugandans. They see Julius Malema as a symbol of the unity of Africa. They hope that we will have one Africa. But there is this question, the LGBTQ community.
If you still see a lesbian or a gay and you want to classify them as undesirable people in our society, you are backward and therefore do not belong to our organization.
So Julius Malema is conditioning his people, saying, if you do not support the gay agenda, like he's not saying, oh, like you don't have the right not to support it. But if you don't support it, he is saying you are backward. What does that even mean?
In this organization, all kinds of human beings are welcomed. We do not discriminate against anyone because we are for humanity. We are not for gender, whether male, female, gay or lesbian, white or black, colored or African. It is immaterial.
Tell me what you think about this.
All right. So you heard that, right? Now, so the Pan-Africans, last I checked, there was a fight that Julius Malema was busy with, which is the land issue, in South Africa. So let me play Julius Malema's latest video here, where he's criticizing the new law in Uganda. But I thought he was supposed to be a Pan-African. Guys, please get the likes up and do not hesitate to hit the cash apps and the super chats to show your support for the show. But Julius Malema have not completed the mission the last time I checked. The land issue have not been settled. But Malema have now taken on, it seems like, this new fight here. So maybe I wasn't aware, but it looks like this is the new frontier. And I want to hear from the Pan-Africans.
How are you going to identify that a person is gay? What scientific method are you going to use that she's lesbian? All you're going to do is to look at a person and out of hatred.
So you guys know this. So Julius Malema have always said it is white people that want to take black African people's right whatsoever. Uganda is a sovereign nation. There are many, especially like, look at it, a lot of like white people, white activists, white people, or like online, you go see, they support Uganda's law. And these are Americans, right? They support Uganda's right to be able to pass the law they want to pass. So, like same-sex LGBTQ is allowed in South Africa, is legal there. That's where Malema is from. But guys, don't you think if Malema saying he's a Pan-African and undermining a sovereign African nation's right to pass a law that fits their culture, what does that make him? Does Malema have the right to do this? Here's the reason why I say these Pan-Africans, we got to look at them sideways, because they use subversion. What is the subversion? They pretend they are Pan-Africans, but they have an agenda like this. He's going to say, oh, we are all African brothers, so therefore that gives me the right to speak on Uganda. No. You're not speaking in the tongue of brotherhood. You are speaking as against them, like the Western nation. That's what he's doing. He went with the people to protest at the Ugandan embassy. So I don't know what his angle is.
Decide this one is gay, this one is lesbian. It cannot be correct. So we are saying to Museveni, leave the people.
So this is what the AFF have now, this is their new fight. They are all militant. I don't know what is going on in South Africa, but Malema is repping them well.
The way they are, it is not our problem. It is not your problem. It is not a problem.
See, Malema can say it is okay. This lifestyle is okay with them in South Africa. He can say it is not a problem for them. But how can he turn around saying this should not be Ugandan people's problem? It shouldn't be Museveni's problem when he is running that country. So this is what I've been telling you guys. These Pan-Africans, not all of course, but they have this chameleon color. They come there like, oh, brother, I've been telling you guys. It is very suspicious. So those of you that's been saying, oh, Malema is the new face of Pan-Africanism. Well, you heard what he's saying here.
If Museveni is lesbian or gay himself, what if Museveni is going to discover that much later? Because there are people who discover that even when they are older.
So what is he trying to tell us here? He said, what if Museveni himself discovered that he is gay in his old age? So what is Malema trying to tell us here? What is going on? So this is weird. So you Pan-Africans, I'm gonna drop the link. You guys better come here and explain this for us.
Actually, this is who I am.
So guys, you see that, right? You guys see that. So I'm gonna drop the link here, and I want to hear what you guys have to say. All right, I want to hear what you guys have to say. Guys, get the likes up, get the likes up. But before we do that, let me play this short clip before I start the line here. But the link is in the chat. Let's hear what, in the economic front a little bit, so you guys can hear this.
I want to talk about one thing that will impact your life. Last night, I did a TV show on CBDCs. That is central bank digital currencies. I spent about, 3 hours yesterday. Really brilliant guy. Very well-connected in government, with government agencies, with banking, et cetera, et cetera. The guy's no slouch. I was shocked to hear him talk to me about what's coming. Because what people think, what you think, because you're getting the garbage from television, what you think is coming is a recession. What your crazy friends might say to you is coming is maybe a depression. You'd be mistaken. Those are lies. What is coming is a collapse of the dollar. You haven't had one of those. We've never experienced the collapse of the dollar, of the world's reserve currency. This will make us Venezuela. Make no mistake. If you want to be prepared, prepare yourself like people should have prepared in Venezuela. You can get all of the information on last night's TV show. You can either watch it as a Blaze TV subscriber. I don't know if it is still posted because we started with transgenderism. I don't know if it's still posted on YouTube. And everyone on radio and television and the internet will be telling you we have to do central banks. We have to do digital currency from the central. Do not believe that. The collapse is caused by the idiocy of the people who are now telling you, A, we're fine, it's stable, and B, that's a conspiracy theory that we're doing a central bank digital currency. They're lying to you, and they're the ones who caused it. So please stop listening to the experts. Here's what's concerning today. Yesterday, Brazil and China struck a deal to ditch the US dollar. This is something that every expert for the last 20 years have said that will never happen. And I said, it will happen as soon as someone comes up with something more stable than the dollar. Because everyone said, Glenn, you can't abandon the dollar. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. It's the worst. Remember I used to say, but it's the floatiest poop in the toilet bowl? As soon as somebody says, hey, here's something not in the toilet bowl, the world will scramble towards it.
Guys, hit the like, and I have the link in the chat. Hit the link, come through. I want to hear from the Pan-Africanist, and The Economist. Hit that link.
And we'll be flushed. That is exactly what is happening now. China is putting a deal together with the world, with our former partners, the people we have dissed, ignored, the people that we have slighted over the years. And with this administration, all of our former allies are looking at us going, you guys are dying, man. You are not a superpower anymore, and the dollar doesn't have long to live. I'm throwing in with China. And China is building itself up as a superpower. And they are replacing our dollar. Once you take the trillions of dollars that are held by central banks in countries like Brazil, all over the world, and they liquidate them, the dollar collapses. We become Venezuela with inflation that you cannot imagine. This is what is happening now. Brazil and China just struck a trade deal. And what it means is when they used to trade, they would have to, when China wanted to buy something from Brazil or Brazil wanted to buy something from China, they both had to change their money into US dollars and then pay each other in dollars. And then they could bring those dollars back to their own home and it would be put in the banks like vaults, like gold. They don't do that anymore. The petrodollar is over. It's only a matter of time. By the way, Saudi Arabia also took another step to join the China-led security bloc. They are now in the SCO, which is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It's a political security alliance. It's China, Russia, India, Pakistan. You also have Saudi Arabia now, Turkey, Qatar. China is filling the vacuum that we have left because of the Biden administration.
All right, guys, you heard that. So the link is in the chat, guys. Guys, hit the link. Come through. Let's have this conversation. Guys, do you think, South Africa could, because they've, what, let me rephrase that, because I think Botswana have gay law. I believe so, don't they? When they have the same bill, but how come he did not speak against that? Christopher Kane, correct me there if I'm wrong. Those Botswana have the same law. But why Uganda? And these people say they are Pan-Africanists. You see? Yeah, Christopher Kane just confirmed that they have the same law. But why? Why is Malema's focus on Uganda? Do you guys think he's been paid? Kenya also have the same law. Ghana. But why is Malema picking out Museveni and Uganda? Guys, this is not good. This is propaganda. You understand that in order to take action against countries, for instance, like this, right? If you live here in the United States, if you're paying attention, especially like the Iraq war or any, like Afghanistan, before they went to these places, they had to, bring people on the news to paint them as these evil people who you are like, okay, maybe this person have a great interest about this place. But, Malema presented himself as a Pan-Africanist. But now he took a completely 360 Because this right here, as far as I know, unless if the Pan-Africans have reinvented themselves to, add this onto their agenda, I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's why I have the link in the chat, especially what's his name? The Mr. Pan-Africanist too. Hit the link because you wanted to defend your Pan-African people, and the platform is open for you to, come and state your point. There's no right or wrong answer, but we want to hear what people are saying. We want to understand, are people just chameleons? Is people like Julius Malema, are they chameleons? Because you guys have seen Tariq Nasheed here in America. Tariq Nasheed used to be a Pan-Africanist. Did you guys know this? When he made, quote unquote, the hidden color, that those are DVDs. They're like hidden color 1, hidden color 2, and then he made movie about Haiti, where he did this tour, went to the UK, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and the people like, yeah, this guy, he's a Pan-Africanist. But now, in 2022, 2023, is he a Pan-Africanist? In fact, he is coming out as, one of the most Afrophobic people on the internet. You see? So there's an agenda. So you go to Malema, like you said, grifter. Is Malema a grifter too? Because Malema was talking about the land issue. He said it would never be fair until they distribute the lands amongst the Black South Africans. Because he said, historically, if we look at history, the blacks in South Africa were, their lands were stolen from them, right? So he said they should return those lands. But I've listened to some of his speeches, and then hearing from some of the South Africans here online, what they said, I started thinking, I was like, he's like, man, you guys are the only ones that listen to Malema. But us in South Africa, we don't. He is fake. We're like, man, stop hating on Malema. Malema is the man. But, correct me if I'm wrong. It looks like he's definitely doing a 360 here. Let me bring in a caller here.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I am well. L.A. Wilkes, welcome to the Afridamus report. Did you hit the like button already?
Yes, sir. I'm a good African, so I do what I'm told.
Awesome. So did you get a chance? Are you familiar with, the greatest Pan-Africanist in South Africa, Julius Malema?
No, sir. Never heard of him. Is he a Negro?
Yes, he is a Negro.
Okay, no, sir.
Yeah, this is this Negro right here. So he's a Pan-Africanist.
Is he gay?
Well, last week, no, he wasn't. But we know for sure he's a Negro who says that he is fighting against the white man to support, the elevation of the blacks. So now let me ask you this. Do you think a man who is supposed to be fighting for the blacks to get their lands back, do you think he has enough room to be a gay activist too?
Yes, if he's trying to get money, he has room for anything.
But okay, fine. In his country, he can do that. It's legal in his country. But if he is fighting another African country laws, they have the right to pass that law.
Yes.
He is fighting them. So don't you think, do you see a problem in that or not?
Yes, I definitely do.
What problem do you see in that? I mean, he's a Pan-Africanist.
Okay, whatever that means. No, I mean, what do you? This is why I call that a grift. You gotta pick your poison. I mean, that's why I say it's all for money and all for show. But I see a lot of Africans in back of them, sir.
You see what?
Is it Africans in back of them supporting this? I don't.
Oh yeah. Well, let me play his video. Maybe this, the South Africans might. That's where he's from. No, hold on, wrong one. Let me play. But yes, you're correct. Some of his, political party members are supporting him.
Good, strong Africans.
How
See?
are you going to identify that a person is gay? What scientific method are you going to use that she's lesbian? All you're going to do is to look at a person.
That's his
out
people.
Of hatred.
No, that's your people, sir. They look African.
This one is gay. This one is lesbian. It cannot be correct. So we are saying to Museveni, leave the people the way they are.
All right. So did you hear that?
Yes, sir. And I want to point
So
out.
that's him. So Uganda is a sovereign country. So, all right, go ahead.
It's a lot of gay Africans, sir. I didn't realize it was a lot of gay Africans.
Wait. This is in South Africa, sir.
Sir, it's South Africa, and is that a part of the African continent?
Yes.
So it's a lot of gay Africans.
Well, it doesn't mean. Are you saying these people, they are all gay?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, sir. I don't know how else to put it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I hope this. Africans that are watching, guys, hit the link. What's going on, guys?
Well,
don't tell me.
They're afraid. Where my cousin Judah at? Judah would tell you about these South Africans. Yeah, but all seriousness, no, I don't know why he felt the need. It got to be about the money.
He wrapped himself in the gay flag. Do you think he did it out of love or what?
No, it's for the money. I mean, the gay people trying to go to Africa, and I welcome.
But why Africa though?
Sir, as long as
why go to a place where it's not part of the culture?
Because your Africans need to be more civilized, so that's why they're going over there to help y'all be more civilized.
Civilized with what?
Just people put some lotion on your feet and wear shoes and shit. I see the commercials.
Well, the people are already wearing that. We got shea butter, cocoa butter, you name it. So okay, let's say I'll go along, right? Let's say that's what they want to do, right? Okay, why are we hearing them say they gotta accept these gay laws? Not to pass it, to make it free. They are pushing the gay agenda.
Yes, they are.
Yes. So, but you're talking about they are there to help civilize the people, as if the people are not civilized.
No, sir.
What would you consider civilization?
What part of the world would I consider it, or what do I consider being?
Well, you want us Africans to be civilized like the blacks?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't see any people. I don't hear any gunshots in that video, so we need to add a couple in there.
In South Africa. In South Africa.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they do have a lot of gunshots over there.
Oh well, we're doing our part then. We're doing our part to help out the Africans, one nation. But it's all a grift. You know this. He sounds like he has an accent. Where is he from?
South Africa. He's South African.
So how is he a Pan-African if he's from South Africa? How is that possible?
Well, what do you mean? The Pan-Africans are from Africa.
I thought the Pan-Africans were American. They not?
Some of them are. But you're right. The blacks, they claim that, they are the real Pan-Africans. No, the blacks are the diluted one. They are the wannabe Pan-Africans. They stopped being Pan-Africans a long time ago. Since the white man gave them bling-blings, 24s on the rim, they were going to the clubs, making it rain, women shaking their booty, people are drinking Hennessy's,
That's the good stuff.
Yeah, just the good stuff. They've been living good, okay? Like, you rolling in your Cadillac telling me about how oppressed you are. You see what I'm saying?
So
You know,
does the South Africans actually support this guy?
well, that's why I want South Africans to call in. You know, Christopher Kane is in the chat. He's South African, but he's never supported him.
How does he make money? Does he have like work?
He's a politician.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a politician.
I saw you play the video about the American dollar. I've been reading up.
Yeah, what do you want to say about the American dollar? Oh man, the Africans are saying, man, kick you off the panel. Say, Afridamus, just kick this guy off the panel, wasting time talking nonsense.
Well, any ashy feet want to come up here and tell me how I'm wrong, then you can.
Yeah, but yeah, you were saying about the dollar.
That's scary, man. People don't realize how bad that is, and I think things like this, what this guy's doing over there in your country, I think that's
no, he's saying like South Africa.
No, sir, it's your country. It's all the same place.
Yeah.
I think
it's one all big old country. You're right.
Yeah. All y'all look alike. Is a big distraction, because pretty soon they're going to be taking over everything, and I think that's something we all need to be concerned about.
Oh, with the dollar?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, I don't know where it's headed, but it's weird. But let's bring in J Mac. J Mac, are you there?
I don't know where it's headed, but
somebody got an echo.
But they want me out of here. Afridamus, the chat's killing me.
Hold on. J Mac, are you there? J Mac. I don't know what happened to J Mac. J Mac, fix your audio. Be brave. Welcome to the Afridamus report.
Hey there. Hey, LA.
What's up, Be Brave?
Good.
Be Brave got mad at me before. Be Brave.
No, I didn't. I just don't like that business model. I think it's rude.
Definitely. That's why we do it. But go ahead.
So Be Brave, did you have a chance to see the videos that I highlighted here?
Yeah. Afridamus, as much as it so what do you want? The gay movement?
Both.
Or
you can
both? Okay.
Both.
First, I'm going to start, as sick as it makes me to defend gay behavior. I find it unbelievable why anybody can do it. I really am not sure if people are born that way. I think they get that way out of their perversions. But you cannot, in any modern society, tell people what to do with their damn genitalia, my friend. That has to come to an end. Can you stop them from going crazy like they are in the U.S.? Yes. We don't need to have storybook reading hours from goofballs that are dressed like space clowns. You can stop that, but you cannot stop.
But if you look at like Malema, he's South African.
Mm-hmm.
He said he's a Pan-African, right? You're aware of the Pan-Africans, right?
Yes.
So isn't it supposed to be supporting, black, movement, help black countries be stronger?
Yes.
Okay. So a black country, African country, passed a law, the will of the people there. Here he is, a Pan-African, going at them, and they are not the only ones with that law. Why is he fixated on them? Why did he single them out?
You got to answer me this question, Afridamus. Of the countries in Africa, what is truly the repulsion of gays? Are they repulsed? Or are they is it just culture that's been for years and they're hanging on to it?
It's not even a thing.
Well, it's not. So there's no problem with it.
There's no problem. There's no problem. It is people that are now bringing Western people coming, because these societies are religious based and culturally based.
Yes.
So they don't. This is not even a thing.
That's why I was asking.
So just like the kids now, have you noticed like all of a sudden, everybody's transgender, everybody's this. Yes. Somebody is pushing this onto their head. Somebody's teaching them this, right? So
Yes.
these people in that culture are protecting. They're saying, hey, you know, they're not going looking for who is doing this, but do not bring this into our country or bring it out there, you know, try to put it into kids' heads.
Right. And that is very well what they're doing. You can bet on it. My question is still the nature of things, Afridamus. Do you think that they should put a man in prison for homosexuality?
Do I think well,
Yeah.
well
Or the countries? What do you think?
well, every country, people have, you know, their norms, they have their principles, they have cultures they go by, right?
Yes.
For instance, here in the States, they will put you in jail for practicing polygamy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So me coming from that culture where I come from, that's very like, you know, outrageous to me. I'm like, what? You know, like they will put you in jail for that? Like,
Yeah,
to us, that's crazy, right?
Yes.
So in those cultures, shouldn't be crazy that they don't allow, you know, same sex behavior there.
I wonder what the penalty is. You know, LA, what the penalty is for polygamy in the U.S.? I do not know that.
It's a felony.
Yeah,
You can go to jail.
Yeah, it depends.
Remember what's his name? Jeff. This guy, they out in Utah. He went to jail. They were looking for him at one time. It was like a big manhunt. Leader of the Mormons. You remember who I'm talking?
No, but I would bet polygamy in the U.S. I'm telling you, I don't think it's as jailed as you're kind of implying, Afridamus. I think they don't look making felons out of people. I think if you get caught straight at it,
No, but we don't. But we don't know that. We don't know that. Here's the thing. Yeah.
I'm going to sure look into polygamy when I get off here because that is a very curious question. But I'm shooting from the hip and saying it's illegal, but it ain't no big damn deal if you're doing it and you're doing it under the board. However, I'm just asking you for that is something that deals with two different people. So I get what your good question on it. This is a norm. What I'm saying to you is human beings might be born somewhat gay. Do you think they should jail them for that, or just kind of?
No, they're not jailing somebody just because you're saying, you know, you're gay. That's not what they are saying.
Well, I'm reading in Uganda they're proposing it, or
No,
that's
that's not
the death penalty.
That is if you are engaged in if you're caught, you know, with a minor. You know, like in Saudi Arabia, for example, Saudi Arabia, they have the same laws. Qatar, all these places, they have the same laws, right?
And people look at them as they're crazy.
But that's the thing. Who gets to decide? Like in the West, right? In the West here, when you tell women that Western people, you know, about polygamy, they look at you like, you know, you have two heads. They think that's disgusting, is weird, right?
Yeah.
So that's America, right? But why do Americans must believe other people are not repulsed by what they are pushing? Why are Americans shocked that people are repulsed by what they are pushing?
I'm just saying, Afridamus, you have to look at the reality of are people gay or not, and if they are, I don't care what country you are. Probably, if you want to get in on things or whatever, somewhere. I just think I can understand a country keeping it illegal to the point of a misdemeanor or a good fine or whatever if they wanted. But if you're going to where you're jailing people for 10 years or you're threatening death penalties for homosexual behavior, whether it's lesbian or men, it's like that is just that's.
But do you know in Saudi Arabia,
they'll throw
you know, do you know the penalty for adultery?
Yeah, and they're crazy though. Afridamus, that's my point. That's crazy.
No, but here's the thing.
If you're using examples that are crazy.
No, the United States, you know, like for example, the Sharia law, right?
Mm-hmm.
United States is the other side of Sharia law because they allow people to do all this crazy stuff, right?
Yes.
There's chaos.
Yes.
In these countries, they have the law, like let's say in Saudi Arabia. If you, it's a safe place, right?
Yes.
If you don't steal, you don't get your hand cut off. Why can't people who are thieves control themselves and try to blame the law? If you don't, commit adultery, sleep with someone's wife or husband, you don't get your head chopped off. I don't think that's crazy.
I think, and stealing is not something that you were born doing either. Gay might be something people are born at.
But if you know, if like here in America, there are people who are multiple, repeated offenders, right? Back to back, right?
Yeah. Nobody's cutting their hands off.
Okay. Yeah, but what I'm saying, in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yes.
You are forced to leave other people's property alone. Like, because they're putting it like the responsibility is on you. They are like, hey, this is what the law is, right? If you don't steal, your hands don't get chopped off. But if you get steal, this is the penalty. I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
What if you accidentally get hooked in with that accusation of theft and so
no, but they have laws. I'm pretty sure. For example, adultery, right? Adultery, they cannot, like, somebody cannot just say, "Oh, be brave was with my wife," right? There has to be 4 witnesses.
I would never do that. Oh, no.
Hold on. There has to be 4 witnesses, and all those 4 witnesses have to see the pen being dipped into the ink.
And 4 witnesses could lie against somebody they don't like. I'm telling you.
No, but do you see? No, the law, right?
Yes.
If you do you know how hard that would be? There's a reason why they say 4 people, and those 4 people have to see.
Very good.
See this happening, right? But also I get what you are saying.
They did it. I said even if they did steal, even if they did get caught homosexual, you don't get to cut a man's hands off for stealing. You don't get to kill somebody or jail them for a homosexual act. Even if they're doing it, it's just too anti-human to do something that drastic for something that could very well be a part of what you were born as, the stealing part. There, you're not born a thief, but if you're an idiot, you might be just a dumb idiot that has lost his mind and is half insane.
No,
you don't deserve to get your
be brave. Be brave. They're not gonna come just because someone says X is gay. From my understanding, right?
I got you.
In Saudi Arabia, again, for example,
right?
Like they would have to. The same thing.
Yes.
Catch you in the act, and 4 people. Do you know how hard that would be?
Doesn't matter. Even if you got caught and you're guilty, the penalty should.
Well, countries. That's where. But countries have laws, though. We have to respect their right. Right?
We do. People respect it. Nobody goes over to Saudi from America. They don't. Nobody goes here, there, and there. So people do respect it. So don't think people don't respect it. But even to say you have to respect laws still does not mean those laws need changed. They have to. It's silly.
but be brave.
It's all right as people who are more understanding of human behavior to look at them as if they're batshit crazy, and they are. Because we in America are too lenient. You're right. But either.
Like for example, right?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
The laws here in America, right? Those other people too, they look at America as batshit crazy. You do realize this, right?
Yes. And so what determines who's crazy is what human nature would react to.
But who gets to decide though?
The human outlook on what is torturous and evil. It's evil to cut a man's hand off if he stole something.
No, but see, Saudi don't have.
Huh?
No, they don't have. I gave them as example just to. They don't have stealing issues from what I've read.
You're right.
They don't have. So like here in America, right? They say in the city where I live, you can steal up to $1,000, right?
Yes.
You're allowed to steal it, and they just slap you on the hand, right?
And
The property owner is the one who don't even have the right to stop this person. So you don't think you don't think that's a crazy law? So you are encouraging people to do things to other people, but those people cannot react.
I'm saying it's crazy.
Oh, not you. No, not you.
No,
I'm not saying you. I'm saying that law encourages.
And it does.
So and that's not right.
No, and anybody looking at it would say it's crazy. And it is crazy. How do you let somebody steal $1,000 from a hardworking business owner with no penalties? That's crazy. So that's what I'm saying. America is off its rocker right now. We don't get to go by what America does. We get to talk about decent human beings here in this room. We're talking about what's logical as far as like punishments for what occurs. And I'm saying for somebody to steal $1,000 and have no penalty, of course, that's social breakdown. We're done if we don't stop that.
Yeah, but America is doing that. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So in Saudi, right, with all their laws, right? When was the last time you ever heard them beheading someone?
In America,
because people understand it.
Afridamus, in America, 50 years ago, we didn't have people stealing thousands of dollars and getting away with it. So see, so what you're saying is you're acting like we've always been crazy. No, we've been forced, as you are being forced, we've been forced into this craziness. It's a breakdown of the American culture to make us weaker. It's insane. In America, I'm 68. I remember when there was no problem with stealing. There was no problem with goofballs reading to kids in grade school. It was a very well-balanced, very understanding society all over the country. We were the model of humanity, and we were forced into craziness. Yes, please, I'm not defending anybody stealing at all. And the $1,000, that is engineered to that. All that does is breaks down things.
Yeah, so
that's as designed.
But what I'm saying, right?
People wonder.
You made a point there, right? Which is, you're right. So people are watching what is happening. If this is what is breaking America down, why would other people why should African countries and others be forced to adopt what is destroying America?
That's very true. In America, that's why I said take away the LGBTQ insanity, and just you got to talk. This is not the laws that they're proposing. It's just an individual with no. They're not wanting to involve children or nothing, and that's what I'm saying. Of course, you don't want to import our insanity. I get that totally, but you still got to go back to the single individual, two individuals who are whatever you want to call it, sick or gay. I call it sick. But you don't get to do anything to them for that. That's their adult.
Be brave. Like for me, like I've lived in America for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. And trust me, it's cool, nice place. A lot of things are good, but a lot of laws and how things are ran. The place where I come from, I would never want that to go there. It's just not. It's destructive.
Yes,
it's definitely destructive.
You had to witness America back in 65, 70, 75, 50, 55 to understand where I'm coming from. We had until we were destroyed from the global bankers, and that's what's happening. Until we were destroyed from them, they also were in control of the country at that time. They had our country running very logically for a reason, so that they could stronghold their throne in the planet. They didn't want chaos. Now they're done with us. They're bringing chaos to knock us down, to take us out as any threat to them. But I'm just saying, there are just little things that what you see is crazy, and they are, that I know didn't exist. But I'm just saying, if something's real crazy, nobody's advocating bringing that in. But if there's something a little bit weird, you just don't get to tell people what to do. And Saudi Arabia is crazy. Would you kill a woman for adultery, Afridamus? You're the president.
I'm not. I'm not a. I'm see
No, you're
again. Every country, right? For example,
I know.
every country they have laws, they have principles and cultures they go by.
And
You notice, right? Our like this other our cultures, like African cultures, will not be tolerated, to be imposed on Americans.
Right.
No way.
Right.
Right? So therefore, why do like even the Western, just because they accept, this lifestyle whatsoever, it's a Western thing. Why do they expect other people to drop their principles and adopt theirs?
You're blaming the West when the West is just a powerless group of people.
Oh no, I'm not blaming them. I'm saying.
I'm not saying. Well, I'm just saying you're implying. What I'm saying is, I want the question, Afridamus, please. You would not kill somebody for adultery.
Well, I mean, look, I am not. I'm not. If I look in Saudi Arabia, right? For example, in Saudi, the king, for example,
yes,
the king, right, is not the one deciding this. Remember this, right?
Correct.
The same way in Uganda, these laws, even though the president is the one speaking, he's not the one deciding this. You do realize if he tried to go against that, the people are going to go against him. This is the will of the population.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the will of the culture there.
At a certain time, the population must step forward. Even if they keep gays out, I would be happy for them. Don't get me wrong. But I still want an answer, Afridamus, because we're talking about what is determined to be human logic. Afridamus, my friend, you would, as president, you're not going to start a policy or a proposal to kill women for adultery, are you?
Oh, that's not going to fly where I come from.
No, I'm just talking about you.
No, I mean, like, here's the thing.
If I was a president,
well, I'm not going. That's like Sharia, which is the Islamic law.
Right.
The country where I'm from, they go. That's not what is practiced. You got to remember, I'm one individual.
I know
one person.
You brought up Saudi Arabia, and I'm pointing out that Saudi Arabia is batshit crazy, and I'm proving that by having my old buddy Afridamus, the president. He's saying no, we don't kill people for adultery. So see, that proves again, there's more people thinking Saudi Arabia is batshit crazy rather than to use them as an example of stringent laws. They're batshit crazy. There's no reason to even look their way. That's what I'm saying.
But again, Saudi Arabia, right, have way less crime than America. Yes, they don't have drug problems, right?
Everybody wants to leave Saudi Arabia, Afridamus. Everybody wody wants to leave Saudi Arabia. Everybody.
Are you sure?
Yes, most, for sure. Yes, put them anywhere else. That country is a hellhole of humanity. Please, Afridamus, that's a hellhole of humanity. They're Wahhabists and the extremists there. Okay, so now
hold on. I got two more speakers. Hold on. I got Lozy from
the economics. After
after these guys. Mac, are you there? Mac, unmute yourself.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Mac. Yes, Mac, where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm calling from the United States.
What part?
But Atlanta, Georgia area.
All right. Thank you for calling in. Mark, what do you think about Julius Malema? This agenda of going against Uganda and Uganda's president about the new gay law they have there.
Actually, since Lozy, he's South African, right?
Right.
I'd be more interested in hearing what he has to say, and I can wait for him, and I'll
Okay, we'll bring in Lozy then. Okay, we'll pass it to Lozy. Lozy, are you there?
No, good, brother Afridamus. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Lozy is the perfect person that called in because Lozy have warned us a while back, but thank you for calling in. Lozy, what's going on in South Africa and Malema, his new campaign against Uganda?
First of all, a good topic and good insight from many people, and I read the chat, crazy people on the chat as well. But good topic, Afridamus. Look, I've got two sides to this. One, first of all, before I continue, I do support the LGBTQ people as people. Being that I believe people should have basic rights to exist if they're not harming the surroundings and they're not harming other people. And I don't see how the LGBTQ people or whoever they call themselves, I don't see how them existing and practicing whatever they do is disturbing or harming the next person. However, I do see the Western agenda, even also, I don't know what they're trying to achieve with this, or if it's an experiment, because we don't have a well documented cases of something like this happening in the past, and we see the results of LGBTQ and effects within the society, right? So why will the Western people care? Why do they care to impose these systems on other countries? Because we know they don't care about anyone. I mean, they don't care about the lives. If they care about the lives, Libya wouldn't be in this situation. If they care about the lives, DRC, Zimbabwe, almost all African countries wouldn't be in this situation. Same with Middle East, same with South America. You know, they've bombed countries, they've sanctioned countries, imposing citizens of many societies into poverty. So they don't care about people. The LGBTQ people are always minority in every society. So why will they care about this tiny minority all of a sudden? So that agenda is what I'm scared of, and that's the side I support Museveni saying.
Right. I'm looking at the agenda too. You're right.
Yes. Is he opposing the agenda? If he's opposing the agenda, fine. But this lunatic as well is introducing a law where he's now gonna jail people for 20 years in prison. Now, I don't care about it. I'm a South African. Now, I don't. Basically, most of the times I care about my people, which are South Africans. What happens to Ugandans, if they really want to jail their minorities who are gay or homosexuals, that's on them. That's their people. They're doing those horrible things on their people. I think Malema must remove his noses out of Uganda. But here's the funny thing, Afridamus. Most Africans always supported Malema when we told them that this guy we don't support him. But because he was saying things that they liked to hear, he was saying he's going to open the borders of South Africa. They liked that. They like him in that vision. But once he said he does something that they don't like, you see how the hypocrisy are.
Yes,
so
yes. I remember when Lozi, you wouldn't back down. You were against him, but they called you a sellout. So I remember that.
Exactly. So I support the LGBTQ people because we have them here in my country. I understand that these people do exist. They are people, Afridamus. We can't be jailing people for their sexuality or whatever, even if it's a choice or whether it's not a choice. It's not harming anyone, and we should just let them exist. Because here's my argument around a homosexual people. I'm straight. I believe everyone here is straight. Quite often I say I'm super straight because these days they try to push me as if everybody is homosexual all of a sudden. But here's my argument. You'll have to be homosexual to understand if it's a choice or not. Like now, I'm not homosexual, so I don't know. I'm not gonna question their existence, whether it's choice or not. It's not up to me. I'm not in that. I'm not playing for that league, right? But I support them to exist as people. They shouldn't be jailed. They shouldn't be not given opportunities within a society to exist. And if you look at it in a broad spectrum, most LGBTQ people, if you look at people who tend to do crimes within a society, most of the times it's straight men. You get my point. Most people who will kill other people is straight men, but of course it's because straight men are more than LGBTQ people. Now I don't get the hate that we have towards them, but I can see the Western agenda on the other side that it's what I'm scared of.
No, but Lozi, if you look at it, right, I wouldn't say it's hate. Just like you said, they've existed, they've always existed, right? Obviously, in this society, it's no problem. But now, why all of a sudden they are put at the center and they want the law to be centered around them? See, that's what is causing the problem, because they are looking at it like, okay, these people have an agenda, and maybe it's not maybe your regular gay person on the street, but who they are is being taken, to be used Just like, let's say, Black Lives Matter. They say Black Lives Matter, but is Black Lives Matter about actual Black people? You know what I'm saying?
No,
So it could be the
you know,
same thing.
you are so right, Afridamus, because if you look at it, I fear that what if one day we end up with a gay president or someone who's very powerful in the homosexual? I think we actually do have them. Probably many countries do have them, depending
Oh
on the
yeah,
kind
they
of sex.
already
Some
have
of
them,
them,
man.
you
Yeah,
know,
they
some
have
of
them.
them cannot come out. So the danger with that is that when the minorities like the LGBTQ group, because they have got their own agendas, maybe when they get so much power, they might pass laws that are now going to affect us and the rest of us. You know, that's what I'm scared of. You know, but I still agree with the brave and the thing. I don't think in the 21 centuries we should be jailing people for their
Yeah,
sexuality, man.
but
That's just
Lozi, don't you think Uganda is a sovereign nation, right? And they are.
Mhm.
It's not like Museveni came up with this on his own. If you listen to his interview, he said he was open to if they were born this way or whatsoever, right? But
Mhm.
the agenda to about population control, right? You look at in these societies, people have their normal life. This is not even a thing. Now you
Mhm.
have complete strangers, foreigners, not even the same skin color, not even the same
Yeah.
culture at all, right? They are coming
Yeah.
telling you that, look, this is what should be important, this is what you guys should focus on. So I see why Museveni, because we don't
It's
know behind the
resisting.
scenes what they were doing.
Mhm.
There's a reason why these countries are passing these laws to make it clear to Western people, because Western people, you got to put it in writing. You got to put it in writing and
Look,
let them know, no, this is what this is. We are not down for this.
That's right.
Yeah.
okay,
So that's what they are
can I
making.
respond?
They are making it clear. But I don't think, because even in Uganda, all these places, yes, they have gays there. They've always been there. But why all of a sudden now they want
Look,
to put them at the center?
look, I have an argument with that. Again, as I said, the likes of USA, they don't care about lives, right? They killed millions of people through their military and their hemogens and all that. Saudi Arabia is it's one of their oldest friends where the gay rights don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Even women didn't have rights for the longest time there. But America has been trading with Saudi Arabia and getting their oil. In fact, they buy they get their oil. The biggest oil from America comes from Saudi Arabia. So
Mm-hmm.
America doesn't care about anyone at all. So the agenda, it's what I disagree with. Now, if we go
Right.
back to use that argument of saying a sovereign state, I'll give you a typical example of my country. You know, historically, we had what we call apartheid here. The
Right.
minorities were backed up by the likes of Britain and USA to keep holding apartheid here, which it was
Right.
oppressing the majority of my people, right? Then it took the whole globe to come together. Many countries voted against apartheid, which was happening in South Africa. If we say a sovereign country can do whatever they like to the citizens, apartheid wouldn't have had ended in South Africa, because it took other sovereign states to come up against apartheid, which was a domestic laws that were created within our country. Now we have to look at it in this way. Although you are an existing sovereign state, other sovereign states as well do have a voice, a mouth to say, you look what you're doing, it's not all right. So look at Malema in this sense as like an activist. But here's the problem I have with Malema. Malema always has an agenda as well. So Malema is not someone who does something for nothing. And he's in the
Right.
politics of the stomach. For him, money it's a big thing. He likes to be popular. As a popularist, he will jump on anything to keep him relevant and to make
Yeah.
him popular. So he doesn't care about LGBTQ people. That's for sure. And I don't even think he understands it. But he's gonna use any
You
opportunity he
don't
gets.
think you don't think he understands it?
No, he's not that smart. And it's funny how Africans always praise this guy. He's not smart. Trust me, I'm a South African. I know him. He's not that smart at all. So, but he's doing exactly what I like now, because the same Africans who have been telling them for years, they'll be like, why you guys don't vote for Malema? And you see, the sovereign state idea again. They've been telling us to vote for Malema, forgetting that South Africa is a sovereign state.
I remember.
Today they say Malema is telling them what to do in their countries. They saying we are a sovereign state, but they've been telling us to vote for him. So it seems like people can raise their voices about other countries because they've been telling us what to do with this Malema guy when we told them that we don't want this guy to be in power because we know him.
And you know, I think what they are trying to do is to use this gay agenda to say gays are being oppressed in these countries when they are not. You see, because it's foreign nation telling another nation what to do. You know, see, that's what I have problem with.
How much do gays behave freely in many countries in Africa?
Yes, they do. It's never nobody's oppressing somebody because
they
say
come out, they'll dress gay, and they go to gay clubs and things like that.
Well, I mean, I don't know what happens in other countries, but I'm pretty sure they do have their own things. I mean,
Afridamus, just a quick one. Can you highlight that comment from Antnem? He's Antnem, I think. Antnem or Antname, I don't know. Yes.
Oh, yeah. He said people like Lozi hate Malema because he likes Africans and not xenophobic like them.
Exactly. You see, so okay. So when Africans are attacked in South Africa, it's called xenophobic attack, right? Majority targeting minority and attacking them. Here's the same thing. In Uganda, the minority of LGBTQ people are going to be prosecuted if they found to be
they are not. No, they are not getting attacked. That's the thing.
No, but
they don't have a case.
Afridamus jailing people for 20 years for being homosexual, it's worse than being attacked once in a while and only a few people are affected, right? You are going to be in prison for 20 years. It's the same thing, but the hypocrisy is that because now they hate South Africans most, they branded South Africa as xenophobic, but yet Uganda
Lozi, like the Kia said, right? Like the Kia said, yeah, that makes sense, right?
If we don't oppress people at all, we go all out. If we don't oppress any groups, we go all out. You don't pick and choose and say, I'm gonna choose to say this is xenophobic now because this certain group has been attacked. At the end of the day, the LGBTQ people exist in almost all societies, and we cannot keep jailing people for this. The same principle on xenophobia should be applied on the minorities in Uganda who are going to face prison for 20 years if they want to be
but Lozi, you see, this is like the Kia said here. It was never a problem until the West started dictating, which is true. It was never a problem until they came and started dictating to African countries. So, like, I'm glad you said you brought up apartheid, right?
Law. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's look at the law.
This were foreign people that came to a foreign land, took their land, and imposed their will on them. That's not what's happening in these countries. And I'm glad you pointed out America's friends.
Yes,
America's friends. They have harsh laws.
It doesn't matter who instigated. Afridamus. It doesn't matter who instigated this homosexual push in Uganda. At the end of the day, Museveni is about to pass a law that is going to prosecute people for 20 years in prison if they found.
No, their parliament did, not him.
It doesn't matter who. No. But it doesn't matter who's pushing the agenda at the moment. At this point, what matters is now the way the Ugandan government is reacting. I'm against prosecuting people for 20 years for their sexuality. Now we can go back after that. If we can stop that, we can go back and now talk about the agenda. What could be done and could not, but we have to focus on the fact that people are about to go to prison for their sexuality. That's the big point. We can discuss who's bringing this thing out, but we can now focus on saying the government of Uganda is about to pass a law where people are going to spend 20 years in prison just for their sexuality. That's crazy. You know, the extreme, like the extreme end of it is just too much, man.
Kenya and other places have the same laws, but people want to focus on Museveni.
Uganda just discovered gold, man. Let's not forget that Uganda has discovered the largest gold in Africa, and gold is about to become the backing of many currencies as the de-dollarization continues.
Right.
So there could be an agenda as well in terms of how they might want to be attacking Uganda and get hold of their gold. You know, that's another thing. But
because here's the thing.
But Museveni is doing exactly what they want. But here's the thing, Afridamus. The way Museveni is responding, he's doing exactly what they want. They're pushing him to do because they want him to do exactly this. So he shouldn't be taking the extreme end of that.
No, it is a double-edged sword, right? Have you heard of that term, double-edged sword? Yes. Here's the thing. What they are doing is this is how these people operate. They come with their agenda. So if you accept it, it bastardizes your society. If you go against it, they turn it into like a fighting to say this is the new freedom frontier for these people. So they can, give themselves the right to wage, military wars against you. So mentioning the goal, that's something. Remember, they sent that actor, the hybrid black one, light-skinned guy. They sent him to Uganda. He was the Terrence Howard, and the Pan-Africans were here celebrating it. But the Ugandan officials, they saw something. They kicked him out of there. But what I believe in, countries, it doesn't matter, in Africa, wherever, they have the right to pass laws in their country. There are places that the law, if you think is drastic, you just don't go there. It's like someone going to China. China, like doing crack is death penalty. Drugs, you're getting killed. In America here, they're passing needles to the people to shoot up heroin.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
One thing, right? These societies are not perfect. The light of the Western societies and even South Africa, because we have adopted so many laws that are what we can say way forward, right? Here is one thing. If you look at people that are going to the West to live, some of them go for many reasons, right? Even part of it being the refugees that are seeking asylum because their countries kill homosexual people. In South Africa, we do have homosexual people from all across Africa coming in.
Yeah, but Museveni is saying no gay pride parade in Kampala. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, but Afridamus, we're going to disagree. We're going to have to engage in this, and we're going to have to be honest, right? People run into the West more than coming to Africa or going to Uganda. There's a reason for that. So you find that there's certain societies that have pushed their basic human rights so much advanced that it benefits many people, and they even aspire to live there. I'm not saying we should go with the agenda, or this Western agenda of LGBTQ, but we cannot ignore the fact that it has got some level of being uncivil if you're going to jail people for 20 years just for their homosexuality. And this is part of the reason why we cannot get many things correct on the continent. This is some petty, stupid things. Uganda has a lot going on. As a country, it has got a lot going on to be worried about who's sleeping with who. My point is that if we can get rid of certain things, we wouldn't even see our own people running away trying to get to the West. If for example, we can say Malema shouldn't be involved in what Uganda, the laws they pass, they fight. But we have got so many refugees from Uganda here in South Africa who are homosexuals. I will say this: our government should stop taking homosexuals up from Africa who are seeking refugees. They must stand in their countries and fight for laws that will benefit their people, and stop running South Africa with their refugees and making that problem ours, because it's a sovereign state, right? We shouldn't be also being burdened with the refugees that are running away because they are homosexuals and running away from being persecuted in their country. Because
you guys already got people running there?
You from yes, man. On that same match, you were playing Malema's video. There's an Ugandan, there's an Ugandan LGBTQ member there. A lot of them are there on the crowd, and some of them come in South Africa because it's safer compared to where they come from. They are prosecuted. Even the common people within the society, they tend to discriminate them. They tend to they are very vulnerable group in those countries. We end up having to also accommodate a large number of homosexuals that are coming across the continent. And I'm saying, if we can allow these people to live as the rest of other people within the country, they wouldn't even be running South Africa seeking asylum seekers. Seekers to be safe.
But Museveni said, do it in your bedroom, don't bring it out in the streets.
I don't think there's anyone who's sleeping with anyone on the streets, man. That be it you're straight or LGBTQ, you're gonna go to jail. I don't know about in South Africa public indecency.
Lozi, it looks in America here, it looks like it's 2-tier laws. Like myself here, Be Brave, and Mark here, we're not gonna get the same treatment as the case. Be Brave, you know this, right? Right. So, okay, let me read this. Bob says, Bob, thank you for the super chat. He said there may be individuals who are homosexual who are good, but it's not because of their homosexuality. This is true.
Nobody said that. Nobody's ever
said
that.
That's true.
No, I think he's just saying that. So, Mark, what do you want to say after, since Lozi already went? Go ahead, Mark.
Well, first of all, I want to say the stance that Uganda is taking, I think it's a bit extreme. It's a bit extreme. Didn't they say that they want to implement the death penalty if you're found to be engaging in homosexuality or something?
Yeah, if you engage in with a minor.
Oh, okay. But either way, from what I understand, the law is kind of extreme. It's on the extreme side.
No, if you engage with a minor.
Oh, I didn't read that. I read where it was just plain suspicion of if you got.
But these people. This is, remember the propaganda they're talking about. With a minor. Yeah, with a minor.
But here's the thing. Any good poker player knows that because Uganda has come out with such an extreme stance on it, that it's more than likely a bluff. So I think myself personally that eventually, the law is going to be, passed, to protect, LGBTQ rights. I think eventually that's going to happen, because you have to remember this. Every country in Africa is a country, and countries are corporate entities. And ultimately, they are owned by, dare I say, the Vatican. So
that's delusion. That's not real. That's not real. People, trust me. These countries are not just empty land. They're, people live in these countries. They have cultures. They have, the Vatican or whoever can employ their puppet all they want. But I can assure you, if Museveni, right, goes and pass a law opposite of what the people want, I can assure you, no matter how strong he is, you would see an uproar in that country. That country, the people, they are Christians and Muslims and African traditionalists. So the Western ideology, that's not what they're on. That's not what they're on.
What you're saying, it may be correct. It may be very
it's
true,
not just him. He's just the front man. But you have to remember, people put him there.
Yeah, a president of a country is no different from a CEO of a corporation. Same thing,
right?
Same difference. So he has to. He's he's the top level of management, but he has those above him, board of directors and shareholders, who he has to account to. So it's what they want, whatever agendas they want passed, whatever laws they want passed. Ultimately, the president is going to have to kowtow to it, or either, like what's always been done, he becomes a victim of a coup, or he gets assassinated, which is another term, extreme form of firing him.
Are you a Pan-Africanist?
No, I'm not a.
No. Okay, let me read this real quick. Eric B, thank you for the super chat. Eric B said, there in America, they are teaching little kids in school about rainbow culture. Every time I try to type what I really want to say, YouTube is blocking my message. Hey, I'm not surprised by that, but thank you for the super chat. I mean, they're definitely in control here.
I really wasn't finished, though. I wanted to.
Yeah, no, sorry, I just wanted to read it. Sorry, Mac. Go ahead, Mac.
Okay, but see, what people are not seeing, there's a much bigger agenda to all of this. It's not really about gay rights. It's a bigger agenda.
Right.
You know about Bill Gates and all these guys buying up farmland, right? A whole bunch of farmland. Why do you think they're doing it?
It's a good question. That's what I'm saying. Have you heard of Carl Schwab?
Yeah.
So if you look at it, the agenda here in America, for example, what we are seeing, these people are even trying to encourage people to start eating bugs. They said people will have nothing and be happy. So the first step to that, is to destroy the real dynamic, that is natural to people, which is family. You see what I'm saying? So in Africa, for example, in Uganda, just like in the past, what they do in countries that needed infiltration for whatever reason, if they need to create war there, they would create a minority group and pay some Africans or some people who would be the activists, and they would promote them, right? It's no different than this. They are, I'm not going to be surprised that they are paying some Ugandans to come out and be the depressed ones so that they can push this agenda. And some people, a lot of people in this movement, they are way super selfish. Their needs, they put their needs above the majority's needs every single time. Every single time. So what I get what you guys are saying here, but you cannot condemn the voices of millions of people. You are saying the minority's voice takes precedent over the majority.
If the majority is crazy, Afridamus, you have to be careful with them. Now, here's a golden opportunity that's missed.
Right.
That really upsets me. They could easily say, you know what? You take this LGB nonsense, get it off of our shores, while at the same time, as Lucy or Lusu or whatever implied, leave the gays alone too. You don't have to.
No, they were left alone though.
Then that's why Uganda should have said, they're fine here, leave us alone. Rather than hit with the propaganda that's out is death penalty, 10 years in prison. They did that on purpose, if that's not a fact. So they missed an opportunity to tell the LGBT, get your ass out of here while we're not bothering the gays. They just know that keep it low and don't bother anybody, and we don't bother you. That's how homosexuality should be practiced. Nobody wants to know about it. Nobody wants you to have special privileges. Get out of here. Keep it in the bedroom. But that's what was missed here. That's the shame of this. That's the whole, if it just would have been told LGBT to get out of here with that nonsense while proclaiming to the world that our gays are safe, you realize how much of the world would have been listening to Uganda more than they are now.
They've already done that.
I didn't read anything like that.
No.
I never said Uganda's making a statement where our gays are fine and safe.
No, this has been going on for years. Have you heard of Pastor Samper?
Well, they
Afridamus.
Yeah.
Wait. Afridamus. So is it not true that Uganda was going to pass a law where they prosecute gay people? That was not true. If it was not true, then
No, they have the proposal, but no,
so what I'm saying is what I'm saying is that if that's not true, then you see their agenda, what they try to do, because I believe gay people always existed in Uganda, but it was not a thing. It's not like something that it's spoken of. They don't need to make noise. They don't need all this, because the news that I read, what I've received on my side is that they're about to pass a law that is going to prosecute these people for 20 years. And understanding who owns the media, who owns the global media, it makes sense if they make that up as well. And scares why they will go this far. Why are they trying to do everything to impose these practices in every country? That's what I'm against. Like, that's what I'm scared of, because they don't do something without intentions of harming another group. You know, they probably doing this to somehow benefit from Uganda and achieve some agenda, you know. So that if there's no law that Uganda is about to pass to prosecute these people, then it's a different.
No, they do have laws in their parliament. They have proposals.
They should build a proposal and say this is a lie and drop the proposal. Is what they
well, did you see the interview in Ghana? Ghana's president corrected that journalist for the lie, you know, that's been pushed in the Western media.
Oh, he did? What
Yeah, he said this is a, it's just a draft bill. It hasn't reached the parliament. But the speaker, again, these countries, the people's will have to be respected. It has to be. Let me read this real quick, the super chat.
Right.
Bob, thank you for the super chat. Bob said, be brave, you are correct. However, the laws are a response to pressure. Now, the law may have gone too far, but it's not an offensive move by the government. It's defensive.
It's still too far. You don't want to. You just don't want to put. It's just like I said, the missed opportunity here is so sad. It just could have been where when the guy corrected that journalist, he could have told him to shut his damn mouth. But when he was correcting the journalist, he told him it was just a proposal. What would have been nice if he would have said, if there is a proposal, then you know what? If there's a proposal to do that, and it's crazy, back to what you say, Afridamus, don't go there as a country. But that still doesn't make the proposal. The proposal is still crazy.
Hold on, let me read this. Yeah. This better be a troll. He said, Zimbabwe's first president after independence, Canon Banana. Oh, Mugabe was the first president. Canon Banana was jailed for sodomy by Mugabe. He was homosexual, raping his guards. What is wrong with you people, man? Jeez. Matt, go ahead.
Guys, respectfully, can I give you my theory on what I think the bigger picture is here? It's not really about gay rights. It's just a pretense.
No, it's not. You're right. It's not.
The bigger picture is that the reason why these big wigs are buying up farmland is because they want to make it to where it's going to be a new form of feudalism, to where everything and anything that you do, as far as work, what you buy, what you eat, you'll have to get it off the internet. And the reason why they're focusing on Africa is because, see, this C-19 thing, it destroyed a whole lot of mom and pops, like, level businesses. See, those places like that, you could go and get your supplies if you needed them, like food, et cetera, et cetera. So the reason they're focusing on Africa is because Africa has the traditional market where you could go to the market. People still grow crops. You can go to the market, get your fruits, get your vegetables, etc. But see, if that's allowed to be able to still persist, they won't have the leverage to say to you, okay, if you don't kowtow and do what we say, we're gonna excommunicate you from basically the internet. They can do that. And you've seen it done, with guys like Be Brave. He might know about this guy named Andrew Tate, what they did to him.
Yeah.
Basically just excommunicated him from the internet.
Yeah, but
and if our whole lives are on the internet and everything that we order, because Amazon has been the lone corporation standing, basically.
Most African countries, they don't even get the Amazon. They cannot cancel them. It's like
Exactly,
they're
exactly.
they can't cancel them. They're
But see,
uncancelable right for now.
that's why there's
Yeah,
the focus on Africa, because that's going to present a
yeah.
problem.
No,
Because you
the
because
Africans
no
are
because you guys
uncancelable.
because you guys won't be as vulnerable to them putting the smack down and saying, if you don't kowtow and do what we say, then
Well, Mike,
we're
they don't
gonna
need the
kick you off
smackdown
the
in
internet.
Africa. They don't need the smackdown in Africa. It's already smacked down. America's what they're smacking down. You are very correct. There's many different things going on to smack America down, and we're
And
about right down
speaking
to
on the finances, can we hit that before we close out?
Yes, I will. Okay, you had the Glenn Beck guy, and you had
Yeah,
the fella, the white fella that was before Glenn Beck, correct?
correct.
These guys have been for 30 years fearmongers. What they are
Yeah,
they're
I know Glenn Beck too.
right. Yeah. So for 30 years, these guys have been towing the "it's all over" line, so as to create strategies of intention. They're both no good for nothing, liars, thieves, and they are employed of what Mike would call, and I agree, the corporate machine, the rulers. These guys are doing their bidding. Now, the idiot that was on the video before Glenn Beck, I can't say him, but he's just a record. I've been hearing these stupid conservatives talk this stupid shit for 40 years. And they do that because it's all about they want to go back to some imaginary America that never existed. It's pathetic. So the economics of the dollar being out of Saudi Arabia and the BRICS company. Listen to me, boys and girls, and remember this old man said this on Afridamus' show. It's going to be business as usual no matter what money there
Right.
is, because none of it's going to be backed by gold, because there's not enough gold in the world to back an $80 trillion economy yearly. There's not
Right.
enough gold. So it's all bullshit.
Yeah, and also be brave to add on to this. I don't. He said United States is going to be Venezuela. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Like, because if it becomes Venezuela, Brazil, China's money is tied to the U.S.
Not
They're
only
gonna go bankrupt.
If we
The
go
U.S. owns it.
if we go Venezuela,
It's
the
not
world
going to
is
matter anything.
Right. The
Anyway,
world goes.
So the point is here's the bottom damn line. Whatever this machine decides to do with the world, I think it's going to gradually go along at a lower consumer rate. Nobody's going to be the consumers we were in the 60s and 70s in America. We're all going to go down to consuming. And here's another thing I want you to think about, folks, and then I'll get off here. He's heading up. Folks, could it be that this corporate machine is slowing everything down because the planet is running out of natural resources? Because we are.
Hold on, I don't think so. Like, be brave, right? For example, let me give you an example.
Okay.
If you look at places like, most countries in Africa, it is still like literally like at the stage when America first was like unexploited, right? And not fully, they don't have full control of the people yet, and because the infrastructure is not there, so they are frustrated with that. So what I'm thinking is, because of this internet day and age, more and more people are awake. So they are trying to integrate and force the Western culture onto Africans, so they can control Africans on the soil itself.
Yes.
To control Africans right there and remove that freedom internally that they have from them.
Right. Here's the thing.
But that won't matter if they own.
Hold it. Please understand my position on running out of natural resources. I didn't say tomorrow. I didn't say next week. I'm saying from what I'm researching, folks, we're in trouble in about 50 years. Especially if you get the third world up to any kind of a living standard. Now, if we're in trouble for 50 years, the global machine knows to slow it down way ahead of time. I did not say it's going to happen next year. I'm telling you we are running out of natural resources. There's no green energy that we can magical think our way back into things. And this global machine that runs things knows we're running out of them. That's why they're slowing everything down. I'm not saying 10 years. But in effect, anybody think with me on this? If you were the ruler of the world and you knew we had about 50 years of this left, you're going to start saving right now to do whatever you need to do to make sure that at least the wealthy stay wealthy and comfortable when it all happens. But again, I guarantee you, they're slowing things down because we are running out of natural resources.
Let me throw this at you, right?
Okay.
Let's say, because with this China, the BRICS bloc, whatever, the way they are going, because Africa, most countries need energy.
Yes.
You know, so they are coming. You know, now the solar, you know, technology is very advanced,
and it's
most countries countries in Africa have ample sunlight.
Yes.
So if they can light up Africa and the development let's say, remember when China used to be poor in the 70s, right? So they came to where they are now. Let's say out of the 54 countries, even if 20 more, you know, catches up to like even South Africa level development and infrastructure, do you think that would pose a threat to the West and the world at large?
No, I think
in terms of resources, because that means they would create more consumers, and that African resource would have to stay.
Right. So if you put, that's my point. If you put that many more consumers on the planet, and we're already running out, we haven't even allowed 3 billion people to take part in any living standard at all. Go ahead and put 3 billion people more onto the resources. And here's the thing: all of them solar panels and stuff like that, Afridamus. If you hear, there's people that are experts that are coming out with it, folks. This ain't what it seems. This is a lot more pollution than what they're making. This is a lot more waste. It's a lot. In other words, there's a thing called energy invested on energy return. It used to be they had 1 barrel of oil got you 20 barrels of oil. Now 1 barrel of oil of invested energy only gets you 4 barrels of oil. In copper, they used to get out of a ton of ore, they used to get 15% copper out of a ton of ore. Now they're getting less than 1% copper out of that same ton. So we're running out of things. Now,
yeah, but the resources in Africa,
no, but
you know, like they're not most of like Congo, like you know, for example, like let's say the global warming, right? I remember when I was a kid in school, right? I can literally remember this in middle school, you know, like I have done the homeworks on the global warming, you know, the acid rain and all that, you know, so it's like the same agenda, like they were saying the sea levels were gonna rise and all. So my thing is, for example, just like with the global warming, the same people that are pushing it, Al Gore, Obama, all of them, they said the sea levels are going to rise.
Yes.
But they went and bought properties on the beachfront.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
You could be saying the same thing. You are correct, Afridamus, about minerals, mining, timber, extraction of oil. They could be saying the same thing. We might have 300 years left of it, and they're lying to us. Now, all I'm saying is doing my due diligence, looking at the earth is only so big, looking at what mining operations consist of, looking at where there's just not this much where you can tell that it tears up the planet wherever they're doing these operations, and the extreme energy it takes to get it all out. I don't think they're lying on this one. I don't.
Yeah, but they've been saying this, like let's say like even like South Africa, right? How long they've been mining in it seems like they just, I mean, like Lozi, don't you guys' resources keep increasing?
Yeah, I mean, we also discovered oil and gas. Look, at the end of the day, I do get to see both sides of the argument. I think at the core of it is that the West has built its economy around getting resources even beyond the borders of the West, right? They had to create a situation where Africa doesn't grow and become a service-based economy. It can only function as a natural economy where we use to export our raw material. But as China coming in and Russia now helping with the technology and industrialization, that closes the gap of the West to provide services to Africa, because that's the only way they could survive. The West doesn't have much resources. They need Africa. So if Africa starts to produce in itself, the West loses a lot. That's one way to look at it. And then I don't even know what to believe at this point. I grew up believing the global like the global warming, but there's so many arguments around it that you don't know which to believe. But one thing we can be certain is that change is constant, right? Something is going to happen. Change is going to happen, be it economically or even the planet itself. It's not going to remain in the same place because we are producing more energy. Many countries are going to develop, and there's nothing the West can do.
Right.
The only way the West can stop other countries to catch up, they couldn't stop China, but to stop the rest of the countries to catch up is just to blow over everyone. Other than that, countries like Uganda eventually are going to take off as well. All countries in Africa are going to develop at some point. So the West is going to have to come down and restructure. As you were saying, the global corporate machine, right? It's how the West has been going around the world and setting up the systems. But do you think Russia and China are now operating within the global machine? I think they try to create
they are. No, they are, Lucy. They're part of that screw. Them scoundrels at the top, they're all in it together. China, Russia, Britain, now Israel, America, them scoundrels at the top, it's all one big damn dirty machine. And they're good cop, bad copping us all over the planet. And Africa, they just need Africa. And they're bringing the U.S. down for the reason to, they used to set the U.S. up as an example of everybody wants to live like this. Now, when they knock the hell out of the U.S., they won't have people expecting to live that high on the hog or that high and that mighty. They'll have people understanding that living standards are a little rough, but that's life. Nobody's going to be living grand just because you go to work someplace. That's why they're knocking the U.S. down. They want to knock the global example of high living way off its center. And if we are running out of natural resources, I think we are in 60 years.
You don't really believe that, do you?
No, Afridamus. Look around. We use 40 oil tankers of oil per day.
Yeah, but I'm talking like not only like you look at African countries, right? Yes. More and more, they're discovering more like oil in African countries. Even my own country, they discover gas.
They're not discovering what Saudi Arabia had, though.
But what I'm saying, did you hear what Lozi said? Lozi, on top of diamonds and things they have, they also discovered oil too.
Yes.
Nigeria, they have Californium. Are you Californium? They have oil. It's like
these are all accounted for in the research. Everybody that knows we're not tapping into what's here. Nobody's saying that. They're saying they know where the reserves are. We don't have it anymore. Now here's the thing: if you think we're not running out of oil, Afridamus, do you know what they do in Canada to get oil? They remove 200. This is a huge area, Alberta tar sands. They remove 200 feet of soil, folks. Dig that out, right? And then under that is this sludge mud called I forget what they call it. It's sludge. Then they have to extract that oil out of that mud using vast quantities of fresh water. Also, you think they'd be going through that filth if there was just oil everywhere to pump?
Hold on. Let me ask you this. Remember when Trump was in power, right?
Huh?
When Trump was in charge, right?
Yes.
Remember when they said when there was so much oil to a point, right? Remember they were giving it away. And I remember that.
Well, that's a lie though, because we were still importing.
Wait. So you think that was a lie? They put it on the news.
No,
gas prices were were way down.
Yes, they can do that whenever they want. The gas prices is like
so they were gaslighting us.
They were playing us like suckers. I'm asking you a question, Afridamus, please. Do you think they'd go through Alberta tar sands and get oil that way if there was just oil everywhere to pump?
Well, maybe I'm talking maybe here in America they don't have as much, but I'm talking about in Africa, Middle East, these places we have these things.
Yes, you do, but America used all its oil up in no time in like 7 decades. You think Africa can't be used up in 5 decades? Yes, Afridamus, please. No, anyway, so doggone well that do you know what fracking is? The filth of that? Oh my God, do you think they'd be doing that if there was just oil to pump? No. We're going through desperate measures. That's what I'm saying.
But that's America.
Climate change, huh?
That's America.
Because America wants to keep its oil here. They want to export it. They're still importing it, which is why that's all bullshit. If we're exporting oil, why are we importing it? See, people don't connect those dots because it's all a world-class shell game of bullshit. We are, if you look at it, if you look at the natural resources, they're not there, folks. Not for the next, not if, when 8 billion, right now we got 2 billion people living high on the hog on this planet. You ain't going to put 8 billion people as consumers and pull off any natural resource gain. And no matter what you find, it's obvious that there's less and less. Now, I'm not saying they're not lying, but if you look for your own self, it's like, it just don't add up, folks. There's 40 oil tankers a day. Where are they getting that oil?
Good question. Let's bring in Zongo. Zongo, go ahead, Zongo.
Hello, Afridamus.
Zongo, I saw what you wrote. You said you said Glenn Beck and all these others there in fear mongering. You said including Afridamus show. Now the Afridamus show is in the fear mongering business too. Like, what's going on?
Exactly. This exactly. People like Be Brave is doing the same thing that I was talking about, right?
Fear mongering.
Exactly. I mean, I think you're not qualified to speak on that subject because, I mean, as far as like the oil and gas industry is concerned, there's still like a significant amount of oil in great quantities that has not been tapped yet. If you go to like Venezuela has the largest source of oil reserves because of inadequate like technology to be able
even
to
Russia.
No, Venezuela, they could have got that oil anytime they wanted. Please don't be so naive. They're keeping that in the ground for future use.
By you saying they're running out of the oil, right? I mean,
okay, wait a minute. If you listen to me, how long did I say we got then? If you listen to me.
I mean, I overheard you saying that the oil and gas is just running out. And
no, I gave a time frame. When did I say?
Oh, in the next like 60 years. That's what you said.
Good. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. But I believe that. That's why they keep Venezuela down, and they're not letting them people take advantage of that oil. That oil needs to stay where it's at for future use.
Well, that's not necessarily true. Actually,
it's very necessarily true. How do you think they keep all them people? How do you think they keep all them people as poor as they are? They won't let them get their hands on that oil. Now, here's the old excuse, the Glenn Beck excuse. They just don't have the technology. Oh, hell, never mind. The U.S. can go anywhere they want and just pop up the system and the refineries and the drillings and wherever they want. Trust me, if that oil was desired, there's no technology barrier. Come on.
I mean, like they do have the technology, right? But in terms of like economic viability, hold on. In terms of economic viability, it's just not suitable to start drilling at this particular time, right? But But if future economy might change, that might even propel other companies to go to those regions to drill and produce oil.
They print money. There's no worry about money.
But you see, even like Russia has like one of I think the largest gas reserves in the world. And I think even like, because I'm saying on the coast of Africa alone, a lot of countries, even Ghana, they discovered, like oil there, gas, right? Gas. Senegal, gas, Gambia, gas, South Africa, I'm pretty sure Congo, they have it. Nigeria have lots of oil,
We have
Equatorial Guinea, Angola, all these countries, they have lots of it.
So let's agree on this then. If I'm wrong about the amount of resources left.
Somalia, they discovered tons of gas in Somalia.
The amount of resources left, which I don't think I am, and I'm sure I'm not. Let's agree on that. Let's get out of this bullshit. There's no economic barriers anywhere. They get over that when they want. Let's not be stupid about that. Come on. They'll do whatever they want when they want to do it. There's no economic.
That's the weapon.
That's not necessarily true,
Yes,
though.
it is.
I mean,
Yes, it's very necessarily true. If you're not looking at how the global world runs over the last 100 years, sir, if you think that they can't go into Venezuela, print up some money, pow, get that oil out of the ground, you're being very naive.
no, actually, the government has to invite them, right? Because Ghana, like when we discovered oil, like years back, even during Nkrumah's time, it wasn't tapped until recently. Actually, you understand? So you could discover the oil, but then if you don't have
Takes a
like
while.
the resources, the human capital to help you like drill that oil, it will still remain over there, right? And then the government of that country have to make it very conducive to attract those foreign investors over there. So I think it's a factor of like both parties involved, like the foreign investors being like the Western companies coming over there to invest, and also the government making like good regulations to make it like economically viable for them to like exactly to invest in those countries, right?
But you got to remember when oil, copper, lithium, all of it. Now listen, you know how much oil we pumped in the last 30 years? More than we've used. We've pumped more oil in the last 30 or 20 years than we used for the whole previous 200 years. That's what's happening. Everything's speeding up.
No, that's not true.
So if that jumped off to where other third world countries also, it really got in on it. I mean, it would just use up the natural resources that much faster. And there are no barriers. Trust me, this global machine has no barriers. They'll go where they want and they'll get what they want one way or the other. And it has nothing to do with economics and it has nothing to do with the human capital. What they are in control of is this planet. But with them bastards being in control, I still say they know that in 60 or 70 years, 60 years, I think, they know we're in big trouble. And they're just slowing everything down.
Out of the oil that has been even like discovered, only like about like 15% of the proven reserve has just been tapped. That's
how many? How much?
15% of the
15?
proven reserve. Yes.
Okay. Then that still proves my point.
There's still significant amounts
has been tapped, and the rest is you got 85% left. How quick you think that 85% is going to go if you get the rest of the third world countries in on it, sir?
I mean that's the proven reserve. It means there are other like unproven reserves.
I know. So we're back to who knows who has the actual information, and you're right, you don't, and neither do I. However,
I think
I'm going by the size of the
this.
planet. We're only 8,000 in diameter, 24,000 miles in circumference. Folks, there ain't that much of this stuff on this earth to support 8 billion people living like Americans do.
Yeah, well, I think I'm more qualified to speak on this topic because I had my my degree in petroleum, so it's my field. Really speaking to me about my field, and I do have more now. I work in the I mean not like extensively in the oil and gas industry, but you know.
Right.
To a few degree, like as an intern.
Well, you actually proved our shortage, though, sir. You said 15% has been tapped. And we just did that with just Americans playing. Now, as I said, put another 6 billion people in the living standard, and that 75% that's left ain't going to last but 60 years. So you proved my point.
Yeah, but I mean, but every day, like oil has been discovered on a daily basis.
No, you're wrong on that, sir. I'm going to call bullshit on that.
Well, the reason
finding reserves to replace what we've used. They're not that. Dream on. It's not happening. I'm not seeing it anywhere, and it could be lies. But I'm saying if it could be lies, what I'm getting, because I'm getting some pretty reliable information, what you could be seeing is also bullshit. But I'm saying it's you just got to go by the size of the earth, and 6 more billion people getting in on things. That's not rocket science, buddy. We're in trouble for natural resources of all matter, not to mention fresh water.
What kind of natural resources are we? I mean, in terms of energy, I mean, we have biomass. We can still like make generate energy through like use of like renewable energy as well.
Where are we going to get the soils to grow that much biomass to replace the explosive energy of oil? You can't do it.
I mean, if you have good plans.
Huh?
I mean, if you have good plan in place, it's possible. Why not?
No, you don't. No, nobody's going to replace oil with green energy. That's a proven fact.
Okay, let's bring in Al. Let's bring in Al. Al, go ahead, Al.
Yes, my brother.
Kuse, how you doing?
Howdy, buddy. Howdy, fast.
You know bad.
Yes, I'm glad you see me, brother.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. What did you mention fracking earlier on?
Yes.
Be brief. Yeah, that's a very dangerous practice, and
It's
also,
tricky.
yeah.
You wouldn't be doing it.
Do you know what it takes to frack area? It's about over 100 different type of chemicals.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, millions of gallons of water has been pumped under the ground, right?
Yes.
To
Do
get
you know
the
about
gas
the
out.
Alberto tar sands?
Al, what do you think
Do you know
about?
about the Alberto tar sands?
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
filthy
Afridamus.
too.
Oh, because we're about to, wrap it up. But what do you want to add onto the topic? Malema going, against Museveni, and about the gay law, and the general topic. What do you want to add onto this?
I would say Malema is a traitor of the year, definitely. He's over. He's done. How can
So he's not. So his Pan-African card is removed.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I'm shocked.
Lozi and other South Africans try to warn you guys in the past.
Listen, Lozi support everything, man. That guy.
I agree.
Then let me get on him,
Afridamus.
Afridamus. Let me. I want to be nice today. It's Ramadan, isn't it? Yeah, but yeah, I was listening to Lozi earlier, and I thought, what the f going on out here, man? The guy's out there defending Malema, on LGBT. It's like he's so brave doing it as well. It's unbelievable. How can he do that, Lozi, man?
I didn't hold it. You accused me.
No, he's talking to Lozi.
No, not you,
I
brother.
did not defend LGBT. I said they need thrown out.
Yeah, no.
Are you asking Lozi?
Yeah, Lozi is confused, man. He's coming here to defend Malema on LGBT. I used to love the guy, but come on, man. How can he be? Listen, you got HIV/AIDS that nearly ravaged that country, and HIV/AIDS. This gay business, yeah, are the one of the reasons why we have HIV that's been spreading all over Africa and all over the world. And you come in here and you actually ravage South Africa more than any country in Africa, and you come in here and defending him. How can he do that?
Yeah, look, you need to get proper information. First of all, that's not true what you just said. But anyway, HIV in South Africa also, you have to consider the fact that South Africa has got more resources to test. It could be that we're not really the leading country with HIV in Africa. It could be that other Africans don't really have necessary equipment to test their people. So I understand that the continent has got HIV, but what you just said now, it's not something that a scholar will say. You need to read more so that you don't think LGBTQ is the reason for high HIV in societies. That's just it's not true, man. I don't know what
they are in the UK. In the UK, I'm sure you don't have better facilities, medical facilities than the UK. In the UK, if you're HIV, if you're a gay guy, you can't give blood. You know that.
Look, there's
in the UK, if you're gay, you cannot give blood. What does that tell you?
You're gonna have to do better than that if we're gonna really engage, and we're gonna have to engage from a position of knowledge, So saying
I listen. I don't want to have that kind of knowledge.
If you listen to my argument, I was against prosecuting people for their sexuality. I don't agree with Malema because I know he never does something without an agenda. He's a Western puppet. I always tell people here that this guy is way complex than people think.
I used to love Malema.
But you guys don't listen. I always said this before, that Malema is someone that you guys are never gonna understand him. So he's gonna confuse a lot of you. But I'm saying, as long as Malema is involved in that, there's an agenda in it, and then he's a Western puppet for most of the times. And I'm against the agenda of LGBTQ. But at the same time, I think sending them to jail is just extreme, man. I don't.
Afridamus, I wanted to ask: do you think these Pan-Africanists? Do you think they really need leadership? Because it seems to me, when Malema was, regurgitating their language, they were just, eulogizing this man. And the moment he started to deflect by just espousing this the gay agenda, they're like, he's going crazy. So, basically, it kind of seems to me like most of these Negro Pan-Africanists, they know what they really want, but they just want someone to be their spokesperson.
It seems like they're using us, though, Zonga, right, brother?
I'm sorry, say it again?
it seemed like they're using us.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean,
why is it so easy to use you guys?
That's the only truth there.
Are you guys always looking for love?
I think you're absolutely right, Afridamus. A lot of them are really looking for love, you know. But it seems like they really know what they want, because the moment the person start to digress from the pathway, they immediately check that person. Like Malema, what he's currently doing. Like people like, oh, he's going crazy, and then people tend to validate even what Lozi was saying in the past, that don't trust Malema, he's crazy. A lot of people view Lozi as someone who was crazy when he lambasted Malema, but then today a lot of people are vindicating what Lozi said about Malema. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I was quite shocked because I heard him talk. He was normally quite alright, Lozi. You know, he was, because I had him before on a different platform. I thought he was alright until tonight, but obviously he gave his reason why he think, you know, he obviously should defend him. But I don't think he's right.
So he's no longer on your on the Pan-African list.
No, I wiped him out after them. He's gone. He's gone.
So Lozi can get his card back. Lozi, are you sad about getting kicked out of the Pan-African?
Afridamus, you know, our people are very tolerant. You know.
Hold on, Lozi is saying something. Lozi, are you sad?
I've been kicked out of Pan-African government a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a different view. You can't hold a different view in Pan-African approach. You have to agree with everything. You know?
Right. This is true. Let's bring in Mad Dog. Mad Dog, are you there?
You hear me clearly yet?
Mad Dog, man, are you in the Irish basement again at the bar?
Drinking. You hear me clearly?
Mad Dog, you're muffled. Say something, Mad Dog. Go out and come back. Go back and come back. All right, let's bring in Honor's gay friend. Honor's gay friend, are you there?
Hey, Afridamus, how's it going?
It's going well. Thank you for coming again. We didn't see you last time, but I'm not surprised you called in here. Do you know Julius Malema?
Oh, yeah. He's big and black and strong. Just my kind of man.
Wait.
Wait.
And I heard he's gay, too. And I'm going to find out. I got my ticket. You know, I'm in Djibouti. I'm in Djibouti right now. And about 25% of the men here are gay.
In Djibouti, there's some booty claps over there.
I'm in Djibouti. Last time we spoke, I told you I was going through Djibouti, and that's where I'm at now.
Also, is that why we didn't hear from you for that long?
Allah Akbar.
So you're in Djibouti, huh? How's Djibouti?
Are you getting some booty claps over there?
I'm deep in Djibouti, and I love it. But let me tell you something. I heard Julius Malema was gay, and I'm gonna find out.
You know who that is?
Wait.
Subhanallah.
Wait. So Al, what do you want to say to Honor's gay friend here?
Nothing.
Huh?
I got nothing to say to him.
Cam up, big boy. Let's see what you're working with.
I got nothing to say to him.
Come on, let's see that Mandinga spirit. I want to see it.
I need my brother Mali to read some Quran for us after they was.
So
Zongo, you got more knowledge. Let's read some Quran in this place, man. Please. So I will need some help.
So Honor's gay friend, what do you think about Museveni's Uganda's law? Not allow, you know, they said no gay parade in Kampala, the capital city. They said no gay parade, no time soon. And you look like you're well dressed in this picture here. Is that you, Honor's gay friend?
I just took that picture 2 minutes ago. That's me for sure.
That's you?
Zongo, we need to.
Okay, why did you put that picture up? Are you like trying to attract Al?
Afridamus, this could be Kaiser. I'm suspecting this is Kaiser.
No, this is not Kaiser.
It is Kaiser.
Listen, I told you I'm in Djibouti.
Hold on, are you Kaiser?
I don't know what that is. I'm not the Kaiser. I am Honest Gay
No,
friend.
a guy named Kaiser. Are you Kaiser?
No, that's not me.
Kaizo has a British accent.
Yeah, this is not Kaizo. This person is an American.
Yes, you're absolutely right. He's an American.
Yeah, this is not Kaizo. So wait, Al, hold on. Honest gay friend, do you know now? You do you hear what this man is saying? He's saying some prayers in Islam to rebuke you. What do you think about that? It's like rebuking, the devil out of you. What do you think?
Well,
we need to read some Quran.
Even in the States, they've been saying this Leviticus, this and that, left and right. And let me tell you something. Where I go in church in America, the preacher is a trans woman, and she's trisexual. So we don't have any problems with it. With Christianity.
You need some help.
Hold on, Al, let him talk. Al.
All right, okay. After thank you very much. I'll see you later. All right, you take care.
Al, you gonna run?
I'm out.
Al, you gonna run?
I don't talk to them. I'm out. Thank you.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. You want me to leave, Afridamus?
No. Over here, everybody's welcome. We don't suppress, views here.
I'm going to go to South Africa soon. Lazi, can you cam up? Because I'm going to be your neighbor soon. I want to see what you're working with, big boy. Come on now.
Afridamus, I wanted to ask.
Hold on, Lozi, did you hear that?
I see that flag.
Huh?
There's only two flags I like now. That's the rainbow flag and the one that Lazi's got. Because me and Malema and Lazi, we got a hot date.
Has someone really taken time to read the content of the law that was passed in I think Uganda?
Girl, I read that and I heard it loud and clear. I'm not going anywhere around Uganda. No, thank you. I'm going straight to South Africa.
Okay, well, Lozi said you're welcome there. They welcome all people.
No, wait. Afridamus, no, I never said that.
wait.
Julius Malema did. He wrapped himself in a gay flag.
Yeah, what Julius Malema did, though. Julius Malema did. And he said, it don't matter if white, black, or whatever.
Yeah.
No, Malema is crazy, man. Don't people should stop taking that guy serious, man. I don't know why he's getting media attention, man.
So honest gay friend, he said, don't take it serious. But you're buying your ticket and it's not for Uganda. I want you to go to Uganda and make like maybe video clips for the Afridamus report and tell us what is happening in the ground.
Hell to the nah. I ain't going anywhere around there. I heard that. And I ain't going nowhere near it.
But you can't even pretend. You can't even pretend for a little bit.
Yeah.
Pretend to be straight? No way. I'm super gay.
Yeah.
You see how I look?
I think this guy's trolling us, man. He's not.
No. He's been here before. Before he went to Djibouti, he's been here.
Afridamus, please. You know who he is.
He's just trolling.
Right, Zongo.
So, I wanted to ask, because, this, LGBTQ people, they are really, they are rising, gradually, right? Because I remember when I was in Cyprus, I was approached, several times by these same people who wanted to, just have fun, in exchange of money, right? And what I was thinking was, I think,
you look like a prostitute. That's why.
Wait,
Okay.
does Zongo look like a prostitute?
That's why else would they offer him money? He looks like a prostitute.
I mean, the point I'm trying to make is that the point I'm trying to make is that, I mean, these people, those these LGBTQ people who have money, they tend to exploit these vulnerable ones who might agree to kind of sleep with them in exchange of money. I think the government of these countries have to do something to protect their citizens in that way. That way they wouldn't grow up feeling like they've been molested. I mean, because I've heard several times on YouTube, even this guy, what's his name, Asan Campbell, he was molested by a gay person too as well. So I think something really needs to be done about that. If they believe that both parties involved are of age and they want to engage in stuff like that, hey, that's up to them. But then for them to target like underage kids and molest them, I think that's completely wrong. It's something really has to be done about it.
Well, thank you. And honest gay friend, the Nigerians are inviting you to come to Nigeria. Would you consider Nigeria?
Well, I got my hands full in Djibouti because 25% of the men here are all gay. And I just want to see how many percent are gay in South Africa. Julius Malema is obviously gay, and I'm going to split them cheeks as soon as I arrive.
He's a Pan-African. You know that, right? He's a Pan-African. Like
Pan-African, whatever you call it. He's gay, and I'm going to go get some of that. And I know he's in South Africa with Lozzie.
Okay.
No,
go ahead, Lozzie.
No, honest, you need. You're not welcome. There's already too many people there. Afridamus, look, I've got this theory. Afridamus, think about it this way: as straight men, we should be supporting gay men because most of us who want to end up with many women, like maybe 2 wives or 3 wives, that means the more gay men come out and practice whatever they practice, more women for us. It's eliminating competition if you think about it. So we should be encouraging them to be more gay so that can have more wives for ourselves,
I
knew Lozzie was gay. I knew you were gay, Lozzie.
I disagree with you because that is a selfish approach. And if you think that way,
I care about myself.
Wait, honest. You said Lozzie is gay for that?
Absolutely. He just wants more gay men in the world. He's just putting out them secret dog whistles. And I hear you, big boy. Rough.
Okay, let's bring in Mad Dog. I hope Mad Dog got his audio fixed this time. Mad Dog, are you here?
You hear me clearly now?
Yeah, it still seems like you're still in the Irish bar, but go ahead.
There's a wind dying around here, bro.
Oh, okay.
First, right? I'm gonna say this: there is nowhere in the Pan-African book or anything or constitution of anyone that exists that.
Can you guys hear him?
No.
Yeah, Mad Dog, you're super low. You were starting out good, but you're low.
What is the time over there in UK? I mean, is he staying in the typical white neighborhood or what? Is he afraid to shout or what?
Well,
don't like noise.
Mad Dog, say something.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds now, right? I'll go outside.
Yeah, is your girlfriend or wife threatening you?
Am I clear now? Yeah.
Oh yeah, loud and clear. You're much better now.
Yeah. I just had to step outside still. But no, what I was saying is this, right? I don't know where, in whatever Pan-African constitution, if anyone exists, where it's written that Pan-Africanism is against LGBTQ people or gay people and lesbian people. Do you get what I'm saying? Like when you say Julius Malema is Pan-African and he supports gay people, like what's wrong with that? There is no problem with that at all. Whether we like to accept it or not, these people are already on the continent. In the 54 countries on the continent, they are there. They are gay people, they are LGBT people, they are sexuality. You get what I'm saying? And we're going to have to come to grips that those people are part of our nation. And the sole aim of Pan-Africanism is to progress the people economically.
You're Pan-African?
What?
So what you're saying is, so even though the West is trying to impose their will on Uganda, Malema going against Uganda, you still think he's a Pan-Africanist for that?
I do believe he's a Pan-Africanist, but I don't think he's going against.
But did you hear what he said?
I really didn't hear what he said. I haven't watched the video.
Let me give you a taste of what he said, okay? And because a lot of the Pan-Africans came here, they are disappointed in him. So here.
Yeah. It cannot be correct. So we are saying to Museveni, leave the people the way they are. It is not our problem. It is not your problem. It is not a problem. What if Museveni is lesbian or gay himself?
So did you hear that he's calling Museveni possibly a lesbian or gay?
Yeah,
But he's a man.
No, I get what you're saying, but then again, we have to see this. Like I said, we have to bring these people along because look, let me just tell you something. If you look at Malema over the past few months, right? There's a speech I heard him say, like a speech I heard about him. I think he gave in the last few months.
But he claims to hate Westerners, but he's promoting their agenda in Africa.
Yeah, but there is no point in further politically dividing the people.
No, but what I'm saying is but you would say he should support the Western agenda, which the Pan-Africanist against.
It's not really about the Western agenda. It's about
but that's what it is, though.
It's about him. It's about Malema trying to garner support for himself. There are any
from who?
People that he can, whether it be LGBTQ people, whether it be Christians, African Christians, or African Muslims. You get what I'm saying?
So you think the African Muslims and Christians majority are supporting this agenda?
No, they're not supporting it, but he's trying to. That was only an example. What I mean is this, right? If you look at Malema over the past few months, his changes, rhetoric has shifted a little bit just to like protect his image. Like I remember, his claim to fame was his support for the calling for the seizure of land from white farmers that were generationally, intergenerationally transferred, right?
Yeah, and that's what all the Pan-Africans, the Black Pan-Africans, all hopped on that. They're like,
it's not something that I support 100%. I see the initiative, but it's not something that I support 100%. However, in the last few months, he's come out and made a statement that he doesn't have problem with the white South Africans. However, he has a problem with the older generation of white people in South Africa that think that they're entitled to the resources of the country and that being privileged. You know what I mean? So you kind of see someone who's trying to be a little bit more diplomatic, just because he believes that with the infrastructure, the social infrastructure that is set already by the West, the West leaves friends. So therefore, the people will follow the West, and he's trying his best. I think he's just being diplomatic towards the people, trying to gain as much support as he can. You know what I mean? I don't think he's really serious about it. Him wrapping himself with the rainbow flag. I don't support that at all. You know,
all right.
All
right. You know, Mad Dog, you came towards the end, but we gotta wrap it up. It's almost 3 hours here. So be brave. Last words.
Last words. Afridamus, they're using the LGBT move to destroy the United States of America. If you think you're going to move this LGBT into Africa, if you think they're not looking to destroy many, many African cultures and beliefs and ways of life, you people are this is not kid stuff. If they're moving LGBT on you, you're in for a great deal of a lot of headaches. So get ready and Lord have mercy, because I'm telling you, they're knocking the shit out of our culture with them gay boys.
Thank you. All right. Now we got Lozi. Lozi, go ahead.
No, thanks, Afridamus. Man, reading the comments here of probably many Africans, it's very disappointing, man. But I think Brave was on spot. Was on spot. He said it all. So this LGBTQ that is pushed in African countries like Uganda, it's definitely aiming to distract and destroy us. And as Malema said, I don't think Uganda needs further more division as a country. I think they need to work together and find solutions for homosexual people who are there. However they go about it, I think the Ugandans themselves will find a solution for their minority and work it out.
Oh, and Lozi, before you go, is Honor's gay friend invited to South Africa?
Man, that guy is a troll, man. My position with immigrants, man. We already have got many people.
I know.
If we didn't have many people, he's invited. If he's gay, man, we don't discriminate gay people here. We're not up for that. But good topic, Afridamus, and we engaged very well. So yeah, man, peace.
Thank you. All right. Now, Honors, you are up. Actually, Honors, you will be last. Zongo, go ahead.
Well, I think these various African countries should, try as much as possible to protect their culture and tradition, and they shouldn't be quick and to implement laws as a response from external aggression. I think if they want to pass laws, they have to, review or evaluate the current day-to-day problems within their country, and take laws that is representative of their country. If Uganda did that, okay, so be for them, right? And African countries shouldn't just follow suit. They shouldn't pay attention to that, because there are other minorities in their own countries who do not have even the same privileges like these gay people do have. So let's just be wise and be smart with the way we do our styles, and then protect the traditions. That's all I can just say.
Thank you, Zongo. Thank you. All right. Now we got, the man of the hour, honest gay friend. Go ahead. What do you want to say? Because you heard Lozi. He said, somehow I guess the country is full. I guess they've received enough gays. So I don't know how you feel about it, but your closing statement.
We're here. We're queer. Julius Malema, he wrapped himself in my flag. That's a personal invite as far as I'm concerned. You heard of passport bros? Well, you can call me a passport hoe, and I'm coming to South Africa. I had a good time in Djibouti, but I'm flying out tonight. Next stop, South Africa. That's what's up, Afridamus, and I hope to see you there. I know where all the good parties are going to be.
Well, I'm not going there no time soon, but thank you for the invitation, for thinking about me too.
That's an open booty hole invitation. Anytime you want, you come on along. I'll introduce you to all my new friends I'm going to make.
That's all good. I like hanging out in Uganda usually.
Well, I'm not going to be there, but you come on down to South Africa, way deep in the South, and I'll show you what we like to do.
Thank you very much, sir.
Next time you hear from me, I'll be in South Africa. You got a great show. Keep it up. I hope to speak to you soon, Afridamus. Goodbye, big boy.
Guys, I want to thank the panel. I want to thank all of you for coming in today, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, all people are free to, give their views. He loves Djibouti. He wants to go to South Africa. So, he ran out of the panel. I can't believe I'll run away from the panel. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, I had a good time with here, and I hope you do too. If you haven't already hit the like, make sure you hit that like. Okay, let me make sure I still have my black card for doing these shows. All right, guys, that's gonna bring us to the end of this edition. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Until next time, I'm your host, Afridamus, and I'm out. Peace.
Love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you. Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you. Big flex, my swole up. Double cup and I'm pulled up. Niggas hating like hold up. What's the problem? I'm pulled up. Big